What's going on, Jeff? How's everything? Give me a second, everyone. Oh, it's my phone. Jesus Christ. Give me a second, everyone. We're gonna start in probably like 45 seconds. Let's see what's going on. All right, I'm ready. Good morning, everybody. Oh, it was. I was watching the whole debate yesterday. Yeah, it's good. We're gonna watch it again, man. We're gonna watch it. I seen it too, but definitely we got to do a reaction video on this one. This was crazy. I was shocked. But before I forget, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Bronze Reaper podcast. I'm your host, Rosalind Perkins, and today we got a reaction video. We will be reacting to Amanda Seales, comedian, political figure, book writer, public figure, radical. We're gonna watch this video. We're gonna break this down, and we will be reading all your comments as well. But before we start, like and subscribe, and also share. Share is the most awesome thing you can do. And if you want to send in a donations to the platform, you can look at that Cash App right there, or go into the description, and I will be putting it in the live stream too. So definitely, just give me 30 seconds, and I'll do that for you. That's one. That's two. And that's three. All right. So we got Cash App, we got Super Chat, and we also have Venmo. So definitely support the platform. It's always awesome. We do other more than just this media wise. So yeah, definitely. Like I said, it helps the platform as well. Before I start, again, give me like a few minutes. I have to, not a few minutes, but we can talk. Definitely. I want to know how y'all felt about how you felt about this, because I loved this. I thought it was gonna be some Democrat shit. Man, not even close. You know, I'm gonna be personally honest. I thought it was gonna be all Democrat. Oh, Democrat this, Democrat that. Have a bad. Leave a nasty taste in our mouth. But I'm gonna actually say this. It was actually good. I enjoyed it. I think people needed to hear this, you know, and I know the left won't be happy because they heard something like this, but like I said, they needed to hear this, you know, because we got to also look at it like this too. They're doing something wrong just like the right is, you know. Let's see. She also there. But yeah, like I said, like what I said before, this is gonna be the year of Black America, you know. So definitely, everybody keep up the good work, stay on code. Definitely. Um, I think, like I said, Amanda Seales has done a great job. When I say a great job, I don't know how people can, like, oh shit, hold on. I don't know how people who are not in. Hold on a second. I don't know how people who are not in the black diaspora don't understand where she's coming from. This is coming from somebody who y'all think is what's it call it? A Democrat. You know, she talked to black conservatives, and I think I'm gonna even go farther than this. I think she exposed black conservative or black conservatives, if I said it right. You know, I think she exposed them, man. And the reason why I say I think she exposed them because those type of conversations, conservatives always had an upper hand through the years, but we have been seeing the fall of conservatives too. You know, and the reason, and I'm gonna be personally honest, because it's looking like a Ku Klux Klan meeting. You know, like I always tell people this: black Americans are more conservative than white Americans. You might not think so, but it's definitely true. You know, give me a second. And also, I think, and I'm even go farther than this. What's going on, American Dream? How's everything? I hope you seen the Jubilee thing with Amanda Seales. And like I said, salute to her. You know, she got busy, man. She got busy with people who are considered the higher echelon of immigrants. You know? Because most of these people are immigrants. I'm just going to be personally honest. Most of these people are immigrants. You know? You can just tell, too. You know? But give me like 30 more seconds. We'll talk for like 15, 20 minutes and we get busy. You know, we're not, maybe 10 minutes. 10, 15 minutes. And we'll get busy. Because we got a lot to break down and we got a lot to listen. And let's see, I started watching, got bored with her. Oh, definitely we'll watch it together then, and we'll break it down and we'll read it. Like I said, I'll read your live views, your live chats. You know, it was very very interesting, and the reason why it was very interesting because her point of views, and I'm gonna say this on foundational Black Americans' perspective. Hey, what's going on, Lala Brown? How's everything? Hope everything is good. What else? And also, her black ideology. I think the word black radical is perfect for her. It's perfect. You know, you can tell that she's not a Democrat or a Republican. She wants what's best for Black America. You know, and I guess because I'm gonna say this. She sees what everybody else tries to blindly not see. You know, and the reason why I say blindly not see is because let's see, America is half Black American. Her dad is from Roxbury, Boston, Mass, and her mom is from Grenada. Yeah, true. Some of my family's from Roxbury. Bobby Brown's from Roxbury, so yeah. And I'm gonna say back in those times, it was just mostly black people. There was no such thing as like immigrants like that. There wasn't that many immigrants like that. You got to be a Republican to be a FBA. No, that's not true, Kwame. Here we go with the Kwame. This is with the tether shit again, you know. Now and look at this. Bust this. You see the panel, all 20 of them. Most of them are immigrants. She is radical left. I wouldn't say radical left. I will say this. She did want how can I say this? She did. Hold on, she can't support the Democrats to be a. Yes, you can. This is what you gotta understand, Kwame. The difference between my lineage and your lineage is all about scheming, manipulating, stealing, fleeing, savagery. That's your lineage. Our lineage is always about working together. Even though we might not have the same political stance, we still stick together and we always still put Black America first. Even though she leaned a little bit to the left, don't forget, the left went after her. The Democrats went after her when she started asking questions to Kamala. This is why I tell Kwame all the time. His lineage is always about scheming, manipulating, and stealing. You know, that's Kwame's lineage. Y'all should have worked together during slavery. Oh, like Jamaica. We already talked about Jamaica enough for a whole week, Kwame. I don't think you want to go down that route about sovereign states. Your sovereign states was two. One for the Moors or the Maroons, and one for the Africans, the slaves. So we don't want to go down that route again, Kwame. You know? Y'all should have worked together. Well, you should have worked together instead of getting fucked in the ass and complying to the white man and fought them instead of selling each other out. Remember what we learned about Jamaica and Boogery? We don't want to talk about that again, Kwame. The boys are Africans, so why did they sell y'all out? Kwame, if the Maroons is African, why did them niggas sell y'all out? We're going to talk about it right now. See, everybody? I didn't want to go down this route, but Kwame wants to go down this route. If Maroons are African, why did they sell y'all out to Europe and Spain? Again, Kwame, he don't want to answer the question. This is what he's going to... I didn't realize replay hates Caribbeans as much. It's not that I hate Caribbeans. It's just I hate. All right, I'm gonna say this. I hate the bad parts of y'all, and not all of y'all, because not all of y'all have this mentality. But Kwame has this mentality. Kwame always had this mentality. We could tell Kwame that he's wrong. We can show him that he is wrong. But he'll never, ever admit it. Then what makes it worse, after you prove that he's wrong, he'll start talking about Black Americans, talking about all the foul shit that happens to us. So I give him a taste of his own medicine. Now he want to cry foul. You can't cry foul when you just did the same shit. That's the thing about it, American Dream. It's just, you can't cry foul when you say foul shit. It's just like you. Let me ask you a question. I'm going to give you an example. It's like somebody running around sucker punching people in the face. Bam, 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 bam. And everybody's like, yo, why you hit me? Why you hit me? And then you was like, yo, because you was sleeping. Caught you sleeping, and here comes me. Bam, sucker punch you, knocked you out and stuff. Niggas got you on tape getting knocked out. You can't be like, oh, cuz why you do that? You should have never did the boy like that. Why you knock him out and put him on Instagram getting knocked out? Nigga, I still sucker punch you. It's just my sucker punch is stronger than yours. You can't cry foul when you're doing the same thing. You didn't just see what this nigga say, oh, y'all should have worked together and stopped the German Shepherds from biting you. And I told him, well, you should have stuck together and stopped getting fucked in the ass by the Europeans. Y'all should have stuck together and fought them instead of selling each other out, so we can't get mad. There's no foul. It just, what I say hurts a little bit worse. It's just, you can't be like, oh, he hates Caribbeans. Nah, nigga. It's no foul. Look at, he's crying now. Look at, he's crying victim. He got a victim mindset, bro. I don't cry foul. I just state the fact. See, he crying. Stop crying, Kwame. The whole watch FBA get spit up. See, still talking shit. The whole world seen y'all get tied to a fucking tree and fucked. How about that, Kwame? You want to be disrespectful? I can be disrespectful. Everybody seeing you get tied to the tree and fucked by multiple men, your ancestors. Why did it? Know what? And this is the sad part. Your niggas who's supposed to be warriors watched. They watched your ancestors get gang raped, nigga. And we're talking men. Not the women, the men. That's your warrior mindset. Niggas watching y'all niggas get fucked. It hurts different, right? It hurts. Look at it. He's thinking now. He's thinking. Go on, be a thinking nigga, my nigga, all right? Y'all niggas sell y'all each other out, my nigga. Y'all got y'all African, all right? Y'all African to sell each other out, my nigga. The fuck? Yo, this is the sad part. Africans sold to Jamaicans, to Europeans, and to Spaniards. Then after that, they get to Jamaica, and they sell each other out again. Y'all niggas is double losers. Come on. There's no evidence for the buck. Nigga, we just did a whole episode on it, Kwame. Do we gotta do this again, Kwame? You could go back and watch the episode and see you crying again. Nigga had his ancestor, yo. Nigga had y'all pop, lock, and dropping it, nigga. That's fucked up, nigga. Oh, shit. That's where y'all niggas get that twerking from the white man? Yeah, that's where all that dirty wine came from, right? That nigga's mad right now. Yo, Kwame's mad right now. Oh, shit. Kwame, don't do it. Don't ever do it again, man. This is what I'm talking about. You can't talk shit, and when I talk shit back, my shit stings, nigga. Yo, the words I said touch your fucking soul, my nigga. Your soul just left your body because what I said. That's how mad you are, my nigga. Yo, American Dream. Like I said, there's nothing against Caribbean, but yo, if he wants to talk shit, I can talk shit. That's the thing. You can't cry foul when you're the one fucking trying to violate niggas. We got evidence of breeding farms in America. We got evidence of breeding farms in fucking Jamaica. Your country was Epstein before Epstein, my nigga. Let's get that correct. Your country was Epstein for men. That's why niggas didn't want to go to Jamaica. When you tell a black American, yo, we're going to send you to Jamaica, niggas get said, oh, well, we don't want to go to Jamaica. We don't want to go with them freaks, nigga. We don't want to go with them fun boys, nigga. Y'all niggas was fun boys in Jamaica. Like, come on, let's be honest. Hey, Shabaka defending you now. This how pathetic this nigga is. You're a more racist nigga. This nigga's a loser. Bro, you're a loser, bro. People, no matter what. I just said that, nigga. What the fuck? Were you a weirdo, nigga? You might Rape is rape no matter who it This nigga's crime victim now too. Look at this nigga. Shabaka, you're the biggest big victim nigga ever. Victimized that nigga I've ever met in my life. Yo. Oh shit. Pop, lock, and drop it. Pop, lock, and drop it. Ah, shit. Y'all niggas is crazy, bro. Like, yo, Kwame, I don't think you ever want to do that shit again, bro. Like, yo. Oh, shit, I just violated. Yo, my fault, Kwame. I think I went too far, my nigga. Ah, man. Yo, did we tell you the crazy part about it? Y'all niggas got independence in the 1960s, my niggas. So them niggas been fucking y'all niggas since the 1960s. That's crazy. Oh my god, y'all niggas should have fought, man. Why didn't y'all fight? Then Kwame gotta brings up these false narratives, talk about niggas was fighting. We got our independence from the Moors and the Maroons. The Maroons, we did revolts. Nigga, y'all lost them shit. Y'all didn't get independence until the 1960s, bro. Y'all niggas is crazy. Yo, thank you. What's his name? American Dream. It's just like, yo, let me just say something. American Dream. This is what happened when you talk shit. When you talk shit, sometimes you might hear some shit that you might not want to hear. I try to keep it peaceful. I try to keep it cordial. This nigga, he wanted to be disrespectful. He wanted to be foul. Act like this nigga don't, like his ancestors don't got no skeletons in the closets. Come on, my nigga. Do we really got to do this again? He brought that shit on himself, American Dream, you know. And shout out to Jamaica, man, but this is the type of niggas that co-signing y'all niggas. So, a pan-African, a pan-loser, a pan-stupid, a pan-idiot. You pan everything except intelligent, I tell you that. Yo, y'all niggas is crazy. But yo, we're about to get into the video. My ancestors put belts to ass. Your ancestors ran from the. Oh yeah, you did? Okay, cool, Kwame. If that makes you sleep at night, man, you know that's why Jamaicans sleep on their stomach, cause they got trauma from white people. And yo, this is the fucked up part too. When y'all Jamaican women come to America, they fuck with the white man. They don't even think y'all niggas can protect them. That's the crazy part about it. This is why we be really thinking like, yo, isn't these black women going on with these white? Nah, it's the Caribbeans, my nigga. It's them Jamaican women. Oh yeah, you can tell by the fucking wig, man. So. Damn, Kwame, your women don't even want y'all niggas no more. That's sad, but oh my god, y'all niggas is crazy, bro. But like, yo, let's start this video. It was a great video. Definitely. I will say this: the black conservatives. They tried, but the thing about it, when you're coming from a different country, you don't really get the whole story. You're not, was it no smoke for the oppressors? Nigga, they get smoked too. I packed them out all the time as well too. You're scared of the oppressors. You're scared of them, Shabaka. That's why you run it again. What the fuck? Don't lie on Jamaica's sister. All right. You sure about that, Kwame? They don't fuck with y'all niggas. They fuck with the white man. Oh my god, nigga, why you think you got all those mixed motherfuckers around there? Like your vice president Kamala Harris. We don't even know if she's a real black Jamaican. What's going on, Ohio? Salute, salute. Nah, it's just Kwame getting roasted again, man. That nigga always starting some shit that they crying foul. Like I said, he cries victim, man. I'm gonna tell Tariq now. I'm gonna warn Tariq. I was like, yo, be careful with Kwame. That nigga gonna cry victim. That nigga got a victimhood mindset. It's all that Pan African shit, man. I'm telling you, man. That shit got you soft. We can't even blame the white man no more. Oh shit. Give me a second, everyone. But yeah, man. They keep trying to build us, bait us to fight. Yeah, it's true, Lala, man. It's like I said, these niggas is pathetic out here, man. You know. See how I told you? Look at Kwame crying victim. He's still crying victim. Oh, I fried Tariq up last night. No, you didn't. You said the same. You probably said the same talking points as you doing to me today. That's why you just got violated, my nigga. You got violated like these 20 conservatives right here, my nigga. So, nigga. Yo, I'm gonna say this. You have you have a bad representation of a Jamaican. I'm gonna be personally honest. I never met a Jamaican like you. And the reason why I'm gonna say I never met a Jamaican like you, because most Jamaican have some type of pride, my man. You on this, like, who do you remind me of? You remind me of, what's the big muscle guy who be dancing like this, be eating all the food and stuff? That's who you remind me of, Kwame. Yeah, you remind me of that guy. You know? You're supposed to be like bigger than you are, but you're not. You're just this happy old dancing guy, man, you know? But yeah, let's start this video. I think this was a great video.
Black culture is toxic. And let's get on the fact that there's no fathers in the black home. Let's talk about that.
You're talking to a radical, not a Democrat. The radical mind state.
Whose name? Oh, Amanda Seals? Oh yeah. She's good. She's up. I didn't know she was a comedian. I was looking up her joint, and she was good. I cooked Tariq every single. No, you didn't. No, you don't, Kwame. You just got them same talking points. I even violate your talking points. You know.
It simply is living opposite to our colonizers, which is an imperialist, capitalist mind state, and radical blacks do not believe that that is any way for us to have liberation. Well, here's what you all keep doing. You keep interrupting me when I'm talking, and you don't want to hear the point that I'm going to make, and yet you want me to respect your point. And that's not how a debate works. If I show you respect, give me the respect back. Ooh, I knew I was going to be surrounded by ignorance, but damn, let's go. Greetings. I am Amanda Seals, widely known as a comedian, an actress, a disruptor, an annoying person on the internet who always tells the truth. And I am now an artistic intellectual who commits myself to making art that educates. And today, I am surrounded by 20 black conservatives. My first claim is it is undeniable that reparations are just and necessary.
Oh shit. She said, "Oh, I heard revenue. I thought you was on the spectrum." Oh shit. Yo, you stay getting violated, Kwame. She thought Kwame was on the spectrum. Oh shit. That's crazy. Yo, shout out to Lala Brown.
All right, reparations.
Whose
fair,
uncle is this?
necessary? My question would be, who's going to get it? Why would they get it? And how long are we going to sit here focusing on trying to get reparations? It's been how many years since slavery? 150 years, 1865? Whenever there's a real thing that this country wants to do, they do it. Stop Asian hate. Okay, there's a problem with the Asian hate. Let's draft a bill, sign it, and it's done. Anything that needs to be done is done. With us, it's a carrot that they that they don't really want to do. And it's not going to help.
I told you he was going to cry victim. Yeah, Kwame, you are African. You cry just like an African, my nigga.
Need education. Oh, it's not going to help. No, it's not. We need education.
Why you treat me like
Getting
an
a check
animal?
from the government is not going to do that. And we need
Please,
proper
white man,
education.
please.
A lot of us go to these institutions where we're not really prepared, we're not really focused, and we don't get things that'll help us in the real world. So if you want to help black people, a check from the government, from our tax dollars is going to get raised, because let's be clear, everybody in here is black. We all American, we all got to pay taxes. It'll go to that. So I don't really see how this is going to help us at all.
Okay. Well, first I'll start with, it will help on even just a moral level. The reality is that the United States has become very comfortable with the fact that it does not consider black people equal, and it shows that in many ways that I'm sure we will discuss over the course of today. But ultimately, there has not been a committed, concerted effort to shifting the mindset around the use of black people as a labor.
I'm going to say this before this starts. Where you going to get the money, sometimes you don't need to get it from taxes. You could get it from the Federal Reserve, you know? Like when, when COVID hit, they got billions and billions and billions, probably trillions of dollars from Federal Reserve. So it's not like, oh yeah, we can't get no money. You could get that shit from the Federal Reserve, you know? So don't let this guy, he's somebody's uncle, and like, yeah, that shit's crazy. Call me, that's what we did. Jamaican Afro, this bunch of facts.
Force in this nation back when it was
That's
slavery, now in the voice in the use of slavery
Thanks,
as
Kwame.
slave labor in prison.
Salute to Lala.
On a basic cultural level, reparations are an act of repair. They are an effort to say, our bad, we see you now. We have seen that done with Japanese folks who were put in internment camps. We have seen that done with Jewish folks. We have seen that done even in the case of slave owners who received reparations. When it comes to the use of tax dollars to pay reparations, and this is going to come up a lot today, it's a matter of values, right? For me, my value system circulates around the fact that I think that as a community, we should all be engaged in repair for our community. So I don't think there should be any problem with there being tax dollars spent at repairing consistent efforts that have been made to impede black people. So the reparations you're talking about are not just related to slavery. There's reparations that have been discussed all over this nation in different communities as it relates to particular massacres, as it relates to redlining and the impediment of black people to earn wealth by having property. There's been impediments in various ways that can be repaired. And I want to also just add, there's reparations that are considered a cash payment from a government. There's also the version of reparations that shows up in how funds are applicated to specific groups of people. So there's multiple ways in which what you're stating cannot happen.
Europeans are not supporting Israel and Ukraine. That's only America. If you're looking back in history, we wasn't the first people to give Israel money. It was Europe. Europe stopped giving them money, then we started giving them money. Yeah, her mother, but her father's black. So yeah, all we gotta do is just stop giving them money, you know? Like, if you really personally be honest, if we stop giving them money, their country will go downhill. I will say that. Their country will go downhill if we stop giving them money. We stop giving them type of, like, technology resources. And yes, we give them our old technology, but our technology compared to other people's technology is still far from other people's. So yeah, that's the difference, you know. Yeah, it's very different. So like, that's where we got to be careful with. When saying, oh yeah, individual people can't get it, because she just named people who got it that were individuals. The Japanese got it. The natives got it. The Jews got it. Or Israel got it. Like, like I said, it's just with Shabaka, with you, Shabaka, like I don't agree with you, and the reason why I don't agree with you is because you're doing it out of a bad faith. You're not doing it because you want to help Black America. You're doing it so you can get a piece of the pie. That's how ignorant you are, you know. So yeah.
Very well happen.
Okay, now as far as the money,
We already know that, Kwame.
Things is going to help us. Let's look at Baltimore public schools. They get, I think, the third most money per pupil in the U.S. of A, like $15,000 per student. But yet, the majority of the population that comes from that environment can't read; they're illiterate. So we're dumping money on the situation.
Jeff's crazy.
Yes,
Salute
but
to
yet
Jeff.
we're not getting the results we should get from it. Money's not going to help the thing. We need to just focus on what we need to focus on. As far as Black people being labor force of this country, what else are we doing? We got 25% of us on some kind of government assistance. 1 out of every 3 Black men will go to jail. We got to do something. We got to work with our hands, work with tools, do something, because we're not doing much of anything. And also, one more piece here. Reparations, again, always anchored in front of us, never going to happen. As long as you've been living, as long as I've been living, as long as everybody been living, they say we need it, and it never gets done. One more piece.
You just said one more piece, then you're adding another one. So,
I promise.
So hold on to it. No, hold on to it.
I'm gonna land the plane. I'm gonna land the plane. I promise.
I'm not gonna get into this Israel shit, Shabaka, and the reason why, because I look at them as white people. They are white. They're just probably from another Caucasus mountain. You know? Like, I'm not gonna fight over what part of the fucking mountain cave they're from. I don't give a fuck. I personally don't give a fuck about them. It doesn't mess up my day. They got their own problems. They need to solve it. I'm not gonna help them with their problems. You know? I'm just being personally honest. So, y'all talking about Jews and Israel with me, I don't give a fuck about them. You know? I look at them as white. They're white people to me. I'm not going to be like, oh, whoa, they're a different type of white people. No. They got, let me tell you something. If anything ever happens and like we go to war, these Jews is going with white people. They're not going to go with Black Americans. That ADL shit's out the window. I'm going to be personally honest. The ADL shit is out the window. Bro, probably to your country, because you're, like I said, Kwame, your country is still run by the Europeans, you know? You know, you praise and you kiss the hand of King Charles. You know? Y'all have to get special treatments to come to Europe. So, I don't know what them special treatments are, but yeah. There's no land called Black land. Reparations are given to nations. Europeans are organized worldwide to oppress Africans. Well, you should have thought about that 40 years ago, Shabaka. It's kind of too late to be saying the same shit that we have been trying to tell y'all for the past 40 years. You're just mad because they on y'all back bumper and y'all need help. I'm being personally honest. You sound like this old nigga right here. We need this. No, nigga, we need money and we need policies and tangibles. And if we want to stay away from your funky ass, we could stay away from y'all funky asses. Because we will be able to build our own communities if we really want to build a community. Who cares, Kwame? Who cares? You still, like I said, you got the same talking points. These talking points is never gonna help you. This is why you be getting roasted on the Tariq Nasheed show. This is why, yo. Hold on, give me a second, everybody. There we go. This is why people be on your back bumper. This is why niggas be laughing at you in the comments. Only people who be probably defending you is Shabaka. Shabaka don't even know what he want to be. He don't know if he want to be African, Caribbean, or Black. Maybe even Indie. Was it Hindu? This nigga want to be Hindu half the time too. This nigga's a natural born Kamala Harris. Jesus Christ.
Reparations is a thing, like I said, it's a carrot to dangle in front of us. They're never really going to get it done. And if it was going to get done, it would have already been done. It's just something that they're using to try and make us stay Democrat. That's what I wanted to say.
Well, Democrats are not doing reparations either.
They're not.
This is nonpartisan.
Thank
is
you.
black partisan, baby. Okay?
Well,
this is nonpartisan.
Who do we vote for? Who do we vote for 93% of the time?
Say what I just said.
There's no incentive.
To be quite honest, you're not talking to a Democrat. You're talking to a radical.
Okay, but
let's land this plane very quickly.
Who do we vote for?
Let's land this plane quickly. You're talking to a radical, not a Democrat.
Okay, and you are your own person.
Let me tell you something now.
For?
I don't know what they told you, but if they told you that cutting me off is how we're going to get clicks, stop it now.
Oh, no.
That's not how we're going to. That's not how we're going to enter.
We having a debate.
A debate does not require continuously cutting somebody off.
Okay, no problem.
Now I do want to state this. You're stating things as it relates to how money is not fixing a problem without acknowledging the fact that the problem doesn't exist in a vacuum and that there are so many other factors that are determining how that money is getting spent to impede it from actually fixing a problem. You can put all the money into Baltimore public schools you want, but if you are also putting all this money into policing, into communities that are not getting resources, then you are also creating your own conundrum. The other part of this is that when you're saying they, the they is a broad context. And the last part of this that I will say is that you keep saying they're dangling this in our face, they're dangling in our face. Slavery lasted for 400 years. It hasn't even been 400 years since slavery. So should we be only fighting for a quarter of the time to get repair?
All right, I'm so sorry. You've been voted.
She ate that nigga's food. Kwame, your uncle got roasted. She's right, and I'm gonna say that she's right. And the reason why I'm saying she's right, niggas think like, yo, and we could. One thing I think people fuck up is when they could start comparing people with other people's problems. Our problems is different from the natives. Our problems is different from the Jews. Our problems is different from the Japanese and the fucking who's the other people who got reparations? Somebody else got reparations. I forgot, but our problems always are different. Because you got to look at all these countries. The only people who never really ran was the natives, Japanese, and the blacks. The blacks. Not the blacks. The. When I say the one. The foundation. The foundation never ran. First of all, if we would have went back to Jamaica, they probably would have sold us again. We would have went to the Caribbean island. They would have probably did some weird shit. And I'm going to be personally honest. They will do some weird shit because we're black Americans. They look at it. They look down on us. So why not stay in America? Why the fuck would I want to go to Africa and they look down on us too? The only difference, I'm going to say this. The only difference between Africans and the West Indians and these white people are colors. Jamaicans, Caribbeans, they practicing the shit that the white people are doing. And we have to say that. They all got the same talking points. Like, let me give you an example. Kwame. You talk like a white. If nobody would have never knew if you're a Pan-African or you said nothing about Pan-African, you would have been a white supremacist. You would have been a white supremacist. You would have been you and Shabaka. Y'all would have been a white supremacist if y'all would have never said anything or hide anything behind Pan-Africanism. You would have been looked up as a white supremacist. Just think about it. Oh, bringing us together. No. Only white people who ever says bringing us together is white people who are in trouble. Only time they want us to be American is when they need help. 9/11. What else? Bombings. Fucking wars. Then we're American. We all need to stick together. Africans are in trouble. Caribbeans are in trouble. Latinos are in trouble. Oh, we are all one. We all black. Now we're all black. We need to stick together. Instead of saying stick together, they say solidarity. They say solidarity. Now, who uses white supremacy? Is it Black American, foundational Black Americans, or is it the Black diaspora? That's what we need to know now.
Out by the majority.
All right.
Please return to your seat.
Okay. My name is Matt Nuclear.
Hello, Matt. Matt Nuclear?
Matt Nuclear, yes.
Matt Nuclear, give me a better handshake than that. Let's do it.
I
All right.
appreciate having this conversation with a beautiful black woman like yourself. This is nice, beautiful arena here. I disagree that reparations are necessary. I think the most important thing that's necessary right now for the black community would be the stopping of violence, especially black on black violence. I don't see how reparations is going to solve anything. You can give everyone here like a $50,000 check, especially people that are in the streets who are committing violent crimes consistently, a $50,000 check. It's not going to fix anything. It's not going to increase the median household income in the next 10 years by 10% or 20%. For example, we have the Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882. We prevented Chinese people from getting citizenship and even entering the country. We discriminated against them and basically put them under apartheid, even here in the United States, yet they have the highest median household income. How is that possible? How come they don't complain and feel entitled consistently to beg for reparations and beg for this when they are killing each other 90% of the time, which is the rate that black people kill each other, according to the FBI?
Oh, young Matt.
Yet white people are the oppressors.
Facts. You're right, Lala. Facts. And I'm going to say this about this man's talking point. His talking point is very unusual. And he's from Maine. He's probably like an hour and a half from me. And let me tell you about Maine. He's going to tell you that there's not that many black people in Maine. But he's not going to tell you that the motherfuckers is Africans. There's a lot of Somalians up there. There's a lot of Congolese up there. He's from Angola. And I'm going to say this. One of the most disturbing things I ever seen in my life. In Maine, yeah. Yep, you're right. He's from Angola. Was this kid. Mixed kid. Father's black. But immigrant black. He had this shirt on around white people. White people laughing, having a good time, thinking it's funny. This man walked around with a watermelon shirt on. And like people go be like, oh yeah, go eat your chicken and watermelon. Watermelon's healthy. I love watermelon. But these things that they do, you can see that these people who are doing these antics, that they're not from this diaspora. This is why it's okay that they're laughing, because they're not a part of that diaspora. All they gotta say is, I'm from this, I'm from that. And we gotta watch that. That's why when people start doing this shit, saying these type of talking points, and a sissy and that dude's a sissy and a sympathizer. Facts. You know? And the thing about it, I gave him a benefit of the doubt because I told him, I'm like, bro, you can't do that. Because I knew the kid. I said, bro, you can't do that. I was like, yo, these people are not laughing with you. They're laughing at you. And, like, you might not see it because you're not from the lineage, but, yeah, they're laughing at you. And this is when all these I'm not black, I'm from this country, I'm from that country. Even Caribbeans do that. Like, let me give you an example. If you ever check anybody's Wikipedia, it doesn't say it's Black American. It says what country they're from. It says Jamaican American or Nigerian American or Congolese, Cameroonian American. It doesn't say Black American. We already been separated. But now we just want it on paper. But if it gets heavy to go play. Yeah, facts. This is why, you know what, you can only prepare people, but if they don't want to get prepared, they're going to get left behind, and you can't feel bad when they get left behind. This is what type of tactics and war this is what type of warfare that we have to be on. And I'm gonna be personally honest. As a Black American or a foundational Black American, we always have to be prepared so we don't have to get ready. You know when we have to get ready, what these people will do? We will have to backtrack and we'll have to backtrack, then go for it, then backtrack again. If we're already ready and we know what's going on, we already know what type of people are out here like that. They can't manipulate our channels. They can't manipulate our businesses. They can't manipulate anything that we are doing. And this is why I always tell people all the time, and I told my cousin, he's a multimillionaire. This is when I was just running the streets and stuff like that. I always told him, take care of your people because your people will always take care of you. He's a multimillionaire right now. And the reason why he's a multimillionaire, because he took care of people. Even though he had his business, he had a resource business too, where it helped people get jobs. It helped people with etiquette. It helped people the whole 9 yards. It helped people. But those people took care of him when they got put on. Oh, this is where I get my stuff from. This is where, I do business at. I don't do no business nowhere else because this dude helped me put me on. It should always be like that. We don't need to go to no other race. And this is why people are mad about the August thing, about the hair thing. And you know what? Salute to the women out, the foundational Black women for standing on business. You should never be treated that way. The most disrespected person in the world is a foundational Black American woman. It comes from all sides, people trying to disrespect them. I'm going to be personally honest. Mixed or not, if they find out you're a foundational Black American woman, this is where you're going to have problems. Or just Black American woman, you're going to have problems. They're going to already judge you. But if you say you're from a different country, their culture is this, their culture is that. We are from the African land. No. We're not going to use that African shit again. That African bullshit, because you know what they do? And I'm going to tell you this, Shabaka. All that African bullshit you be doing, that shit is wolf tickets, my nigga. Because once you're Africans, your African people, your African lineage go around white people, they're talking about Black Americans. They're talking about FBA women. They're talking about how ghetto they are. How the Black men leave them as baby mamas. Are we gonna sit here and act like, oh yeah, they always been by our side? Are we gonna act like they acting like they don't know what the fuck they did? No, we gotta get busy out here. I'm gonna tell you something, Shabaka, and I'm gonna say this, Kwame. Your culture, your lineage, your African culture and lineage exploited us enough. Y'all exploited us like white people exploits us. That shit is dead now. You're mad at Black Americans, you're mad at Tariq Nasheed, you're mad at Afro Elite because we're exposing your real lineage and culture. We're telling the truth about your culture. We're explaining y'all saying like your culture isn't our culture. That shit that been going on in America that has never been our culture. Did we have some people doing nigger shit? Yes. We had people in our lineage doing nigger shit, but you know what? We never accepted it until they started migrating in our communities. That's when we started accepting that shit. So now we say enough is enough, so cut the shit. Just say, look, yo, it is what it is. You remember how he dragged Black American women about their body? Yeah, yes, absolutely. Remember they used to talk about, oh yeah, Black people was wearing do-rags? Remember those eras? The do-rag eras? They were mad because, a nigga trying to get some waves? Nigga, like I said, fuck Africa, my nigga. You want my mother to be African so bad, my nigga. And it's sad. Let's play a game. I know you like hypotheticals. Let's say my mother was Benin. Nigga, I'm still black. My father's from Augusta, Georgia, nigga. Are you serious? My mama's family's from Selma, Alabama. Tuscaloosa, too. So what the fuck are you saying, Shabaka? You're just mad because we're exposing your culture. Let me tell you something, Shabaka. If I take the 23andMe, they'll probably say I'm from fucking Kunta Kinte land or Timbuktu. That shit is not accurate. That shit is not accurate at all. Yes, facts. I told this nigga, let me tell you about Shabaka. I told this nigga my mother took the 23andMe, and I said, yeah, my mother was like more Benin and Togo than anything. This nigga ran with it talking about, oh yeah, your mother's Benin. This is how delusional Pan-Stupid is. Pan-African is dead. Yeah. His country is fucked out there too. You know James Brown's from he moved to Augusta too. He grew up with my Grammy. Africa is our homeland. All Benins are black. No, now y'all black. Y'all should, let me tell y'all something. Since y'all talking about all this Nigerian shit, y'all should be trying to defend Benin. Benin was damn near the last country in Africa to get colonized, and y'all niggas didn't do shit. Y'all just watch that shit get destroyed and all their antiques in Europe. That's what type of piece of shit y'all Africans are. I'll tell you that.
I'm not sure where your education came from, but they lied to you.
Stats don't lie, though.
Statistics lie all the time.
Facts.
So let's start there. Particularly when the statistics are coming from the sources that gain from the statistics being shown a different way. So if you're gonna start your argument on stats don't lie, you've already lost the argument. They lie. They lie all the time.
Africans lying right there.
Comparing
Lying
Chinese
African.
people who are immigrants that made a choice to come to the United States and comparing the continued effort of black people to ground themselves in a nation that continues to make impediments for them to show and live and exist in their true citizenship is a false equivalency.
I don't believe that happens at all. No one here is in.
Are you acting right now? Do you really believe
I'm telling
this?
the truth. There's no systemic racism.
A lying
I've experienced
fucking
it in America.
African.
What system is racist? I think the only racism we've actually seen recently, systemic racism that we've seen, is the application of systemic racism against white people. The University of Western Washington, for example, has been trying to segregate dormitories, using black-only dormitories because black people feel safer amongst each other, but they're more likely to kill each other.
He don't understand that Massachusetts is racially systematic. It's a systematic racist state. It's probably one of the most systematic racist states. I know. I live in Boston. Systematically, let me ask y'all a question. Why do you think that statistic came out that Black Americans have only made network in Massachusetts is only $8? It's a systematically racist state. It always been like that, and it's just it's weird. And I think those stats is false too. And the reason why I say those stats is false, because Boston is very diverse. Most of these niggas who's in Boston who's living off of like the system and resources, it's immigrants. It's immigrants. That's where most of our money goes to. Was heavy in the slave trade. Facts, they were. Oh, the beautiful people. This nigga still talking about fucking Benin and Togo. Jeff, you see what I gotta go through every day? This nigga still talking about Benin and Togo. He wants me to be Africa's. This is why I don't like Africa. I'm personally honest. I'm gonna be personally honest. This is why I never want to go to Africa. Because they always try to take Black American success. Because they can't develop anything. Let me tell you something. I said the most wonderful and nicest things about Benin. I said that will probably be the only state I will ever go to, and the reason why is for their cuisines and for their traditional carnival that they have in January. This nigga, and I told him, I was like, oh yeah, and I was like, yo, I just found out when I stopped talking to my mother, my mother took a 23andMe, and they said she was more Togo, Benin, and Togo, Benin. I had a little Nigerian, you know. But yeah, I look at that, but I was like, nah, that shit can't be true. And the reason why it can't be true, this is just me. First of all, that shit was mixed and mingled. Was it Benin, Togo, and we can't even go Nigeria. Those are fairly new countries. Those countries was created in probably the late 1800s, early 1900s. So how the fuck you know I'm from Benin? How the fuck you know I'm from Togo or fucking Nigeria? Benin, Togo, and Nigeria used to be all one country. Until Nigerians sold them out. It's always Nigerians. Yeah, once them niggas started selling people out, man, this is what happened. That's why I said Benin is a fairly new country. Togo's a fairly new country. My great-grandparents is older than most of those countries.
That's just the truth. You have King Von rapping about killing other black men. Why should I think that the white man is the oppressor when black men are more likely to kill me?
Oh my
Tell me.
God, this is scary. You need to think about me as your mama. Do not talk to me in that fashion. So let's check that now. Okay? So on a basic level, we have to understand that systemic racism is...
Did this nigga just say King Von? I'm gonna say this. King Von is dead, my nigga. We don't give a fuck about King Von. He's dead. Let that nigga rest. Let that nigga rest. Let me give you an example. If we're gonna talk about all this drill rap, what about Slim Jesus? What about MGK? What about all this heavy metal? Heavy metal. When these people go do these mass shooting, these mass killing, all this hanging and shit, what music do they listen to? Heavy metal. They listen to heavy metal. And I'm going to say all these genres that this man's talking about, oh yeah, it's black music. All of this shit is black music. Heavy metal, rock and roll, punk, fucking country, blues, house music, go-go music. It goes on. All of a sudden, this one genre of music is only black music. If you're gonna, let me say that, if we're gonna fetishize about fucking drill music, why aren't we fetishizing about this heavy metal shit that's going on with these white kids? These white kids out here with guns shooting up schools, shooting up churches. Like, why don't we never talk about this?
Is grounded in the realities that black people have not been considered an equal human being in this country since its onset. So there's simply no way to make the argument that there isn't systemic racism, and we have seen in very clear ways the system operate in an organically racist way. Do not cut me off. When we talk about systemic racism, we can start with even the fact that redlining, which was implemented to discriminate black communities. Are you shaking your head that redlining doesn't exist?
No, I'm saying I don't think it really existed at all. I mean, no, I don't think so at all.
So it does exist, and stating that it doesn't exist doesn't make it no longer exist. Redlining absolutely exists. It is not a It is not something that's being made up. It's an empirical fact. And there are realities that exist because of redlining. We know that school systems are related to the way that property taxes are affecting the school systems. If a school system is not getting the same property value as the property taxes allow it, then it's not going to have the same efficacy at allowing for students to be able to get what they deserve. When we talk about systemic racism, we have to acknowledge that these private prisons are literally built based on the test scores of school students in 3rd grade. So if you are literally building prisons with the onset of, okay, if these people are not reaching a certain reading level, then we know that they're going to go down a prison industrial pipeline where we can use their free labor. Then how is that not systemic? And if you want to
stop them from entering prisons.
How are you going to stop people from entering prisons if your goal is to get them into prison?
Sure, make them try to be more like Ben Carson than be like King Von. That's very, very simple.
So how does King Von happen? How does King Von happen?
King Von
reparations.
Hold on,
actually, no, let me land the plane. We're talking about reparations, and what you're doing is actually just trying to get this conversation off the facts. And the fact is, reparations are just and necessary because on a basic level, Black people built this country, and the country continues to thrive off of the labor that Black people put into this country. And it would behoove you, young man, to really understand
it's
the
looking
way
like
your
that.
ancestors put blood, sweat, and tears into this nation that is still living off of those blood, sweat, and tears. And let me also add, there are reparations and then there is remunerations. Do you know the difference?
Yes, but can I finish one point that I wanted to say? Ben Carson's cousins were killed at a very young age.
I'm so sorry. You've been voted out by the majority.
Okay.
Please return to your seat.
I hope some of y'all are acting. I really do. We in LA, and I hope some people in here are acting. Oh, what's that on your chain?
This is a coin from Israel.
Lord have mercy.
Yes, you gotta go.
Another African's trying to sell Black people out. Let me tell you something, and I'm gonna say this to Shabaka. Why would any Black American want to be considered an African after your people sold Africans? And even though it was a small percentage of it, 4%, why would somebody want to be African? I would try to push far away of being an African any day of the week. Any day of the week. And it's not, like I said, it's not that I don't hate them. It's just they got a nasty history with Black Americans. They have a nasty history with Black Americans. And this is where y'all have to understand that, like, yo, we are not the same anymore. We are not brothers. I got to be personally honest. Most of us ain't brothers. We are not brothers. We will never be brothers for another 400 years. Oh, this is why, you know what? And this, I'm going to be personally honest. This is why I challenge a lot of cultures' warrior spirit, warrior pride. This is why I challenge it all the time, because at the end of the day, it ain't worth nothing. It ain't worth a box of cookies, my nigga. We got to be honest about it. Half that shit ain't even worth a box of cookies that y'all be saying. Oh, my country is this. We filed. We did all this, this, and that. But y'all so Black. You sold your own peoples. Nigga, that's the most cowardice shit I ever heard in my life. I don't look at Africa as friends or brothers. Facts. Facts. This nigga is redlining. Didn't exist. Yeah. That's an African. That's an African. That was born in Africa saying that shit. And this nigga Shabaka want us to go to Africa and meet his cousins. That nigga crazy.
That's a choice that you are making for yourself.
Yes. The thing with the whole reparations thing, and I don't know, we're probably close to the same age, so maybe you can't call me.
How old are you?
I'm 32.
I'm 44.
Oh, really? Oh, you look young.
Thank you. That's what water and keeping stress out of your life will do.
Really? Mm-hmm. Liberal positions are real stressful.
By the way, I wouldn't know. I'm not a liberal. Carry on.
Well, it's the liberal position, because conservatives believe in hard work. We believe in going to work and working for what you got, not asking for handouts from people who never had slaves. This
is another Caribbean. You can tell he's a Caribbean. Just listen to his talking point. His talk. Oh, we want to work for what we want to work for what we have and make. Like our ancestors didn't work for what they had and didn't make anything. Yeah, he looks old as fuck. I do gotta say that.
But the people that you're asking to for money from never had slaves. Okay. And let's talk about the fact there were also black people that had slaves. So if you want to talk about that, how is that fair? If I'm a white person and my family fall on the side of the Union, why should I have to pay for slaves when this whole country was never all races? Some of the founding fathers were abolitionists, and they hated slavery, and they actually put things in the Declaration of Independence and things too because they believed that there would be a future where there would be a black president one day, or that there would be people in leadership that were black. There was people in the North who helped with the Underground Railroad and fought with the Union. So why is that fair for people who never had slaves, who fought against slavery, to have to pay for people that had slaves?
One, from my understanding, you are more interested in preserving the fairness of those who didn't have slaves than the fairness of those who are the descendants of slaves. That is priority to you than finding a fair way to accommodate those who have been the descendant of slaves.
Well, our ancestors wasn't asking for handouts. They were asking for equal opportunity, and we have equal opportunity.
Never lie. Me, our ancestors. No, you gotta be a coon, or you use a coon sellout or tether. Those is what I'm going with. Coon, tether, or sellout. He's trying to please his white daddy. We are all African. Our peoples are worldwide. Your people are sellouts, Shabaka. Stop it. Africans are sellouts. I'm gonna say this: West Africa, the slavery wasn't only happening in West Africa because the Kenyans sold their own people to the Asians. So why this woman is no, but she's spitting facts. We can't get mad at St. Michael. We can't get mad. She's spitting facts. She's violating these niggas. She already bodied 2 already.
In this country, we had a black president, just in case you didn't know.
African.
We had a black president, and we had a black vice president. I mean, I think she was black. They said she was black. I don't know. So we had a black president, and you know who voted for that black man? White people, because you can't win a popular election in this country without white people. So Barack Obama is the product of white people. So let's get off this thing where, oh, America is so racist. What's making America so racist is people that continue to talk about.
I'm gonna say this: she's violating them. She's violating them. My man said gay rerun.
Racism, and continue to focus on racism instead of focusing on unity and bringing our country forward. People that are having
Shout to you, St.
mindset
Michael's.
are infecting our communities, black people, and making us victims and
You
not
too,
victors.
borrowed time. Salute.
I refuse to embrace a victim mentality because that's not what our grandparents and Harriet Tubman and those people fought for. They fought for
Do
equal
not bring up
opportunity.
Harriet Tubman's name in vain, baby. Please.
They said the
Harriet
Lord's
Tubman,
name in vain.
Harriet
The
Tubman.
Lord's name.
Harriet Tubman was literally saving her family and others from slavery.
Yeah. You know who helped her? White people.
You know who helped her?
They were on the Underground Railroad.
No,
Come on in.
no.
Come
You
on
know
in.
who helped her?
Come on in.
No, you know who helped her?
God and
People who benefit from white supremacy. One of the things
It's a
that
lie. White supremacy is a lie.
No, sir,
It's
that's
a
simply
lie.
not
There's
true.
no such. I mean,
If that were not the case, then we wouldn't see the continued effort of colonialism and white people placing themselves in positions of power when they do not have the power.
You want to hear something crazy? You know when Harriet Tubman died? 1914. She died in 1914. What is this telling you? She died in 1914.
Power because
Let
their
me hear
culture,
this.
black culture is toxic. The black culture is toxic. We have produced a culture that is toxic. And let's get on the fact that there's no fathers
So
in
white
the black
culture
home.
Is
let's talk about that.
Stop.
Let's talk about that.
Stop.
Let's talk about that.
None of this is gonna work if y'all are just gonna sit here and make up shit. It's not gonna work. No, a debate has to be in facts.
You're putting off emotional liberalism.
1913, sorry.
Liberalism. You're putting off unfounded lies
That's what y'all
based
do.
in
Y'all start saying
conservatism.
misinformation. Remember they
It
did the
is
misinformation thing all summer where everything
Look at
conservatives
this man.
did. They said
You're carrying a chain around your neck of an
misinformation.
apartheid nation that actively wants to harm black people and
What about the
non-Jewish
apartheid?
people.
Uh-oh.
Let me bring it back. Let me bring it
Uh-oh.
back. Let me.
Uh-oh. He's a tether. He's a tether. Only tether do shit like that. Only tethers do shit like that and sellouts. Be on black crime in the U.S. is 15 per 100 to what and you probably got that from the FBI, huh? St. Michael's, did you get that information from the FBI or did you just get it from a regular, just a regular statistic? What did you get it from? I'm going to ask you that question. We can't talk about killing and your whole race been killing for the last 2,000 years. Genocide, savagery, pillaging, rape, sodomy. Don't forget, you sodomized Kwame's ancestors. Yeah, you sodomized Kwame's ancestor. You had a butt party with that nigga. Again, you cannot talk about murder, crime, and all this other stuff, and your ancestors been doing it for the last 2,000 years. Rape, killing, murder. Do we have to go on? Talking about murder should not come from no person who got Caucasian blood. I have to say that, St. Michael's.
Africa.
If anybody knows about killing, it's your kind.
Not happening in
And
the
put 'em in
context that
cages,
you're saying.
And they were selling
Let's
their own
bring it
people.
back.
Black people still sell
Okay.
their own people today too. By
I don't
the
know
way,
if I'm gonna last.
We're selling our own people today
I don't know
too.
if I'm gonna
You
last.
probably won't last with me.
I won't because your ignorance is so
See,
overwhelming.
that's liberals. Y'all start name calling when y'all getting.
So am I lying? Am I lying, St. Michael's? St. Michael's, am I lying? So you're trying to tell me the Caucasian race, the Caucasoid race, the Neanderthals, don't know about genocide, murder, killing, sodomy, rapes? Are you telling me that? Bestiality? Thank you, borrow time. Are we saying that, St. Michael's? I'm just asking a question. Am I lying about that? You knew I was going to say that, so... incest, necrophilia. Yeah, I don't think we should be talking about any atrocities.
It's not name calling. You won't have an argument because you keep cutting me off.
Oh, well, that's fine if they don't let me come
You
back
won't
over.
even.
I made my
You won't.
point.
You didn't make your point.
I made my point.
You haven't
And
made
I'm
your
okay
point.
with being
And let me
voted
just
out.
tell you about your point. You started off saying we believe in hard work.
Yeah.
And we believe in being compensated.
Reparations is not though. Reparations is not hard work. It's stealing. It's Robin Hood.
You said you believe in hard work.
Yes.
And you believe in being compensated for hard work.
Yes.
Were slaves compensated for their work?
They weren't compensated for their work. But why should people who are sitting at home playing video games, smoking marijuana,
Are you sitting at
be
home playing a
giving
video game?
checks?
Are
But
you
no,
sitting at
the people
home
that
playing a video
the
game?
people that they're wanting
Am I
reparations
sitting at home
for,
playing a video game? No.
The people
And
that
I don't
want
know what
reparations
Another
I don't know who
stereotype-
these people are that you're talking about, because the majority of the black community
fucking
is not
funny.
sting at home playing video
The majority
games.
of the black
Where are you
community is
getting
doing a
that
lot of
statistic?
things.
Where are you
A
getting
lot of
that
things is not
statistic?
working.
Pause. You've been voted out by the majority. Please return to your seat.
I knew I was gonna be surrounded by ignorance, but damn, let's go. Hello. My hand's wet from the bottle.
My hands are sweaty because
Okay.
I'm nervous. We both
can
got
care
sweaty
less.
hands. Okay. So I just wanted clarity because I think it'd be helpful. You said radical. I wanted just clarity on that. And then also with the reparations, you said it's not just money, it's other things. I just want to know, like, what do you see as like the grand picture of what would help?
The grand picture of what would help.
Of
what?
reparations, like what does that look like to you?
Oh, great. Reparations, what reparations looks like to me is a combination of reparations and remunerations. And reparations are about repair for damages that have been caused based on harm. Remunerations is a monetary response to work that has not been paid for. So if you come and paint my house,
St.
and I don't pay
Michael's,
you can take me to court.
I think
and get
our
remunerations
conversation is over because
for
you
the
can't
work
answer
that you
my
have done.
question.
So we're actually owed both in this nation as black
I
people.
asked you a question.
And there are incredibly
You did not answer
just
my question.
clear-cut records that show
I
the
need you
buying
to
and
answer my
selling and purchasing
question.
of slaves, the work that was done, also the
Sir.
intellectual property that was stolen from slaves, right? Because there was so much inventing that was happening, and there is also quite a bit of other reparations that are being discussed as it relates to property being stolen, as it relates to, again, redlining and the inability for black people to get loans, et cetera. And these impediments being solely based on their race.
As far as like discrimination.
Yes, like they're being solely based on their race, it not being about anything other than you're black, so you can't, right? And so when it's very clear cut like that, there are very distinctive responses to that that can be done through a cash payment, as well as through measures that are being done to create funds for creating resources.
Oh, okay. So we're gonna say a white boogeyman. I love this. We're gonna do hypotheticals again. St. Michael's. Do you consider yourself a settler or an immigrant? You know what? I'll answer your question. You are an immigrant. You are an immigrant to America. First of all, black Americans are the purest Americans of all. We don't bring any other lineage. You always bring European lineage. If we figure out what European lineage is, it's all atrocities. It's all torture. It's all murder. You don't know how to grow anything. You don't know how to make anything. You didn't know how to do anything when you got to this country. Y'all was eating each other ever since the 1970s. That's why some graveyards are still dug up with no body in it. So, we cannot talk about murders because your people have been murdering for the last 2,000 to 3,000 years. The way how you caught this country, I already said, rape, murder, pillage, sodomy, stealing. This is why you should never talk about homicides. Y'all been killing for 2,000 years. You've been committing genocides ever since you was created. For God's sakes, your great-great-great-great-great-grandfather Cheddar Man was killing. So we shouldn't talk about murders. All the food we eat in America. No, it's not. They can't even grow anything out of Europe. What are you talking about? Well, very little they can grow out of Europe. and other stuff that they get from like Africa and India and stuff. Like, let's be honest. Your great, 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 great ancestors is Cheddar Man. A Neanderthal from a fucking cave. So, like, this is a conversation we shouldn't be talking about.
And responses
Jesus
like housing, like access to food, access to education, etc., that certain communities have not had access to because of the fallout from these things.
And I just had a quick question for clarifying. With the funds, I'm wondering, where do you think those should come from? Like the actual money, like is that we're raising money? Is it taxes? Like what does that look like?
Well, I think what they've been doing with these different reparations committees is they're looking at, all right, well, how much has this city or how much has this town or how much has this country gained from the estimated amount that was stolen from these people, right? So they're looking at like, what is this wage amount? For instance, like if you look at during that time, okay, what was the wage amount that a hired worker would get for this same work? All right. And so we're looking at how was that wage not provided and what is that pool that is being created? And then we're looking at, all right, where can that wage come from in terms of how has that wage been applied? So there are spaces where this is very clear. I think the last thing that you asked about was the difference between liberal and radical.
Yeah, please.
Ultimately, the concept of liberalism is really just not Republican, right? I mean, that's essentially what it's become.
I would
like,
disagree with that, but I understand that's your stance.
there's a very generic concept of what liberalism is in the sense that it's simply saying that I am a part of the bipartisan mind frame, but I am not a Republican. It's a mindset. It doesn't always show up in action, but it's a mindset that says, you know, I don't support extremes in certain ways, or, you know, I want the government to show up in certain ways. You know, I know there's a conservative point of view that says there should be less government, but even though it just says that, the action is very different. The radical mind state simply is living opposite to our colonizers, which is an imperialist, capitalist mind state, and radical blacks do not believe that that is any way for us to have liberation.
Thank you for explaining that.
And thank you for being very respectful.
We were told to be respectful. We're not your enemies.
Thank you, my good sis.
Surrounded is now.
This is where it gets crazy at, cause she politely ate her food. This lady, I don't even think she knows that I don't even think she knows she's conservative. I don't think she should have been up there. I don't think she should have been up there, but she was up there. Start giving your energy to these fools. They're not here to learn, just deflecting. Yeah, facts. I give them what they want, though. I feel you, Kai. Salute to you, Kai. I'm gonna say this about her. Your hate is for the wrong group. No, I don't hate nobody. As y'all would say, I just state facts. I told you shouldn't be talking about murder and killing and stuff if your group is the father and mother of genocide, you know, basically. It's like this. I'm going to give you an example, St. Michael. It's like a person who's been smoking crack for 40 years and a person who probably just stopped smoking crack and only smoke crack on the weekends telling a person who smoked crack 5 days a week, oh man, you're a crackhead. You should stop smoking crack. Let her know you just stop. The only time you smoke crack is on the weekend. But you've been doing it for 40 years. You're telling this motherfucker who smoked crack 5 times a year, 5 times a day, 5 times a week to stop smoking crack. Or he's a crackhead. That's how you sound. Oh, black people commit 15 out of 500,000 crack. Nigga, so the fuck what? Y'all niggas commit genocide. The fuck? Y'all gotta, I'm gonna tell you something, say Michael. Instead of talking about killing, you should stop your people from violating people. When people say no, it means no. Won't you stop people from doing that of your race. When a person says no, they don't wanna fuck you. No means no. So the fuck, nigga.
Now a podcast
Oh, shit.
available wherever you listen. Search Surrounded, plug in, and stay part of the conversation. Anywhere, anytime.
Oh shit. That nigga crazy. Salute to you, St. Michael's.
My next claim is that black on black crime is a result of underinvestment and over policing.
Oh shit.
So you say that black on black crime is due to underfunding and over-policing, essentially. Yes. I actually don't necessarily disagree with one of those. I think that, however, the government, who do you think should be responsible for the funding piece of the black community? Should that be something that the government should step into, or should that be something that we as black people need to handle ourselves? Dr. Jordan Peterson and even Thomas Sowell and several others have stated one thing, that poverty and crime, there's a positive correlation. There's also a positive correlation in the black community of absentee fatherism being one of the root causes leading into criminality. Black males that grew up without a father are 10 times more likely to engage in criminal activity. And so I think one of the...
Can I put a pin right there and ask you a question?
Ask me whatever you like.
What is the root cause of there being less fathers present?
Bad decision making on the part of the fathers. We live in a patriarchal system. Like it or not, men have dominated the socioeconomic, economic, and political power of this country and the world since our existence. So our bad decision-making, especially when we focus on the black community, is the root cause of fatherlessness.
What type of decisions?
Not marrying the women we decide to lay down and have children with. Not being careful with the seeds that we plant in women. No woman can get pregnant without a man planting his seed inside of her. So therefore...
So it's marriage?
Well, that's a part of it. Marriage is a part of it.
Okay.
But the true piece that I'm looking at is connectedness between familial units. The black community was at its economically strongest while being at its poorest during the segregation era. Prior to 1968, Dr. Martin Luther King in his last speech said that we have an annual income of more than $30 billion a year, which is more than all of the exports of Canada and more than all of the exports of the United States and more than the national budget of Canada. That was when we were economically at our poorest. Yet 85% of our black children were growing up with a father in the home. There was less black on black crime. There was less disenfranchisement.
Why was there less black on black crime?
Because we needed to live together. We had to stick by each other. We had to stick
What was there also less of?
I'm not sure where you're leading. That's a leading question. I don't like
You don't like this?
I don't like leading questions, no. I like direct stuff.
So essentially, when we were living in our own communities, we were also policing our own communities. So we were not being used as statistics in the same way to determine how resources were provided to our own communities. When we were going to the government saying, hey, we deserve because we are supposed to be separate but equal, we weren't saying, hey, we want to be with y'all. We were essentially saying, we want what you are stating we deserve. And that is what all of the efforts of the civil rights movement has been. It's literally just been to say, you said when we got out of the Civil War that we would be considered citizens, and all citizens should be getting equal access to these things. However, you are actively allowing the Klan to harm us. You are actively allowing...
Who's killed more black people, the Klan or us?
I would like to continue my statement. I let you speak uninterrupted. When we talk about this concept of who is harming us, we are really making a false claim when it comes to black on black crime, as if there isn't white on white crime. There's also this unnecessary effort to try...
I will answer your question, St. Michael's. Black Americans don't have any allies. We don't have any allies. We never had any allies. We thought we have allies, but we never had allies at all. It was never one hand washes another. It was never, oh yeah, let's help, let's have this solidarity, let's have this unity. We have never. It's always what black people can do for everybody else. So now we're coming to this time and place where you and your people will have to do stuff to yourself. You hear all the bullshit outrage that y'all have from the conservatives and the liberals? It's because the black Americans are not helping. You see how this Palestinian shit is going to shit? And this shit hasn't been solved yet? It's because black people are not helping. You see how Kamala's still complaining that, oh, they didn't pick her because she's a woman? No, none of us picked us because she wasn't giving us shit. They still complaining. Immigrants is crying about getting deported. Black people are not helping. Why you think people are so mad at black people right now? Why you think everybody's struggling? Why you think black Americans are just happy? They got a smile on their face. They walk down the street, they got a smile on their face. You know why? Because I don't got to help a motherfucker. I will watch you do this shit by yourself and fail. You want to disrespect us, you want to do all this statistics bullshit, nigga, handle your problem by yourself. Let's personally be honest. Let's handle your problems by yourself. Let me tell you something. For the past 6 months, you know what I have been seeing all the time? White people attacking white people. White people don't know how to use their words. They always got to use a chair or a bottle or a car or a gun. And I'm not talking about regular white people. I'm talking about white supremacist white people. You supremacist white people have a problem with using your words and not insulting people. So when people insult y'all back, y'all have a problem. Y'all cry foul. Look at you got a Mexican actually defending you. You got Nick Fuentes, a scrawny little Mexican who got ran out of Boston by transgenders. By tree huggers. Those are your leaders. You got a Sudanese guy from Sudan defending y'all, telling y'all what y'all culture is. How embarrassing that is. Why the fuck would I want to be on your side? You can't even tell me your own fucking history. There's a problem, St. Michael's. No, the math ain't mathing, player. It's time for y'all to handle y'all own shit and handle y'all own community. Y'all community ain't the best. If you really want to talk about white supremacy communities, let's personally be honest. Y'all don't have the best communities. Y'all live in movable fucking houses. Y'all smoke meth all day and eat mayonnaise sandwiches. Talk about we used to be Aryan brothers. We used to be Celtic warriors. Y'all haven't been that shit in 3,000 years, nigga. Let's personally be honest.
And pathologize black on black crime in a way that you don't try to pathologize white on white crime. There are white people killing each other every single day. Now, they may be on jet skis in the pictures after they shoot up their whole family, but nonetheless, there are white people killing each other every single day. Now, much of the reason why you may see more numbers in terms of black on black crime are for two reasons. One, the statistics be lying all the time. We have seen this.
Numbers? Okay, when you
we have
say
seen
that,
this in a real way. So in New Jersey.
When you say,
in New Jersey.
What numbers can be trusted? Because with the previous speaker, you
I'm about to tell you right now.
Okay, so your sources can
You
be
can't
trusted.
such number. No, I'm literally about to give you an example of numbers not being able to be trusted.
Okay, talk to me.
That's what I was doing.
I'm listening.
Okay, then listen.
Oh, my ears open.
So listen, in New Jersey, they had a statistic that was created by the police department that said, look at how many black people are committing crimes. Look at how crazy this number is. These black people are so exorbitantly violent. Look at this. And then people went and actually matched the names that they were booking with the faces of the actual people incarcerated. And it was proven that they were lying.
So that's one instance.
That's
Hold on,
one
no, you're
example.
talking.
So, St. Michael's, remember the question I asked you. Where did you get your resources from? Where did you get that source phone number from? Remember I asked you that. You still never gave me an answer. You still never gave me an answer.
Somebody that works as a police dispatcher when I'm not making content. So here's the thing.
I see.
No. You see what?
Well,
The truth is, you're about to see the truth if you just give me a second. Like Trump said, just give me a second. I'm going to do the weave, but give me a minute.
Well, here's
So
what
when
you all keep doing. You
just
keep
give me-
interrupting me when I'm talking, and you don't want to hear the
But
point
the
that I'm
point
going to
you're-
make.
the point that
And
you're
yet you want
raising-
me to respect your point. And that's not how a debate works. So if you want me to keep getting louder, I will do it. But ultimately, if I show you respect, give me the respect back. I let you talk. I let you make your points. I am countering your points. And my points are just as valid as yours, even though you got a pocket square and a Church of Christ pin on your chest.
It's not a Church of Christ. It's
Whatever.
A cross.
It's a cross. Same difference. You got an American flag and you think you know.
See, Shabaka, that's how you get white supremacies on and talking. See how he, you see what I just did to St. Michael's? I got this motherfucker out his body. He's mad at me right now. All I had to tell him about was his ancestors. Your white supremacist ancestors is what? They're all what? Murderers, killers, sodomizers. And this is no facts. This isn't like some shit I'm making up. When have we ever heard about your people being civilized? What, in the 1900s, nigga? The fuck? Like, let's personally be honest. Like St. Michael's, come on, man. Let's personally be honest. Like, I got you out your skin, man. Look at you. You wilding out. Look at this motherfucker stumbling and fumbling. He think y'all motherfucker are chat boxes. He think y'all are bots. St. Michael's, that guy Kwame, he's a real person. He's a Pan-African, aka Pan-Stupids. But at the end of the day, he's a real person. Borrowed Time's a real person. Those are real people. Why would I want to? Let me tell you something. I'm gonna say this. St. Michael, what do you say? I'm on lunch right now and I don't have time. Keep going back and forth. What do you say? What to do? The debate with me. On what? What are we debating? What are we debating, St. Michael's? What, black on black crime? You talk, I'm going to say this. You think crime is not supposed to exist. Crime is always going to exist. It's going to exist as long as this world is living. So for you to throw up black on black crime and they all killing each other. Nigga, y'all all killing each other. Y'all do fucking school shootings. You do club shootings. Like, why talk about that? Like the lady just said, they falsely made those statistics. They falsely made those statistics. When I asked you what your resources was, where you get your facts from, you act like you didn't hear me. You did the blonde hair, blue-eyed shit. And you think I give a fuck. What, you gonna start crying too? You think people gonna come? Oh, leave St. Michael's alone. Leave St. Nah, on this platform, player. Oh no, we get busy. We kick you while you down. Yeah, we kick you while you're down.
Something because you a cop, and ultimately,
not a cop dispatcher.
Ultimately, it's a cab all day over here. So let me make that clear. But let me also add to my point. My point is that you can sit here and blame black people on black people all day long and not acknowledge that we are forced into. You're coming to interrupt me again.
I haven't even said a word.
All right, that is flagged, so I'm going to ask you to return to your seat.
Yeah, get him the fuck out of here.
Y'all just want to be seen. I don't need to be seen.
He got the fuck out of here. He got violated.
Hello.
How are you? I'm Jasmine.
And CVS
Say less
another
outfit.
source.
Okay. Thank you. So this is my thing. I think the premise of your question was black on black crime. So I think I'm coming from a place, and I guess my issue is having had my biological father murdered by a black man, having had my cousin shot in the head by a black man. We can talk numbers and statistics and what the people are doing and what the white man is doing and all that, but at the end of the day, I see when my family lives on the south side of Chicago, and I think you and I both can attest to this, and I'm not saying that there are not other factors, but we know that we kill each other at a disproportionate.
I'm going to say this. From a woman whose family's from Nigeria, she shouldn't be talking about black on black crime. She's Nigerian, and she's talking about black on black crime in Chicago. Does she know her whole country got more crime than in the United States? Like, they commit genocide in her country. So, like, this is the shit that we talk about. Notice how the host never said he did it. Do a debate on what? What do you want to debate, man? What do you want to talk about? You want to be heard. St. Michael's, what you want to be heard about? Them niggas is... I'm going to say this, St. Michael's. Them niggas is already roasting you in the live chat and you thought they were bots. I'm going to be personally honest. What do you want to debate, man? You want to talk. You need a friend. What do you want to debate? I have more. Oh, congratulations. You got more subs than me. He's happy because he got more subs than me. Congratulations. The fuck? What type of loser shit is that? I got more subs than you. The fuck? Nigga, you're a loser, nigga. This nigga said, I got more subs than you, my nigga. Is that... Yo, let me ask you a question. You try to one-up me or some shit, my nigga? You try to flex? This nigga's like, I got more subs than you. He's trying to flex. Okay, my nigga. Congratulations.
Rate than any other race. Now, why?
For saying that, I would never debate you, my nigga. You're a fucking loser. I would not waste my time with you. After you say I got more fucking subs than you, yeah, nigga. I would never debate you. You're a fucking loser. Go back into your troll, whatever you work at, and work. Work the hardest that you need to work. Because you're a fucking loser, and that's what all you're gonna be, my nigga.
We do that, and why 6,000 to 9,000 black men are going to be homicided or killed or whatever by the end of the year annually by other black men, whereas the likelihood of a black man being killed by a white police officer is less than 150 per year. We know that we kill each other at a higher rate. So I'm not debating that there are not factors at play, but because I've lived the experience as a black woman losing my father to be murdered by a black man walking down the street,
by the way.
No worries, thank you. But walking down the street in inner cities and different things, knowing that it's more likely that my own brother will rob and rape me than a white man or a white officer, we gotta be real.
What's your proximity to white men in the south side of Chicago? Are there even white men around to rob and rape you at the same rate that there are black men?
There are white men around.
At the same rate.
There wasn't a lot of black people there, but then that doesn't justify the fact that we're destroying each other. So even if we get
nothing,
to the root, like
we can agree on that.
Okay, because I feel like a lot of
nothing
times
justifies.
like, well,
I'm not a liberal.
People,
I'm not a liberal.
Okay, well, I will say that people that sometimes have your stance that are against conservatives, maybe they have this claim that they're making it up, they're making up the numbers. We know that we do that to each other. So I want to get to the root of the issue. Why are we killing each other? I think the root of the issue is we've lost our values and we've lost our resilience as black people. We sit there and we talk about what the white man did and we talk about slavery and everything like that, but we have no self-accountability and say, you know what, at the end of the day, that is my black grandmother, that is my black sister, you are my black sister, and you know that a black man is more likely to rob you or commit some type of crime against you, and that's what we need to get down to the issue of. And like you were talking about earlier, like, hey, well, what's going on? You know, what do you think the answer is to one of the brothers that were speaking? I think it's the breakdown of the family. I think, like he said, because of our poor choices, and what happens is we look at domestic violence, for example. When domestic violence, women or men are even attacked, what is the first thing we say? It's like, you know what? It's not your what? It's not your fault. So that's what we do. We hold on to this narrative that, well, it's not our fault, and the issues in our community, they're not our fault, and the white man needs to give us something. The old white lady down the street is looking at me, and I don't know why she got braids in her hair, and we focus on all these other stupid things that don't matter. We don't get to the root of the fact that we're killing each other at a higher rate than any other race. It is self-hatred amongst us. I believe that we can do that. That we, my cousin, my mom's cousin, excuse me,
what's going on, Charlie
from the church parking lot, and guess who stuck her up and robbed her at gunpoint? A black man.
I need you to get to the point.
Like,
so
my
I can
point
respond.
is that no, and I'm not trying to be funny, unless like you said, we're gonna keep it respectful.
Yeah, but you're monopolizing the whole conversation.
I'm not trying. Okay, I'm gonna let you speak, but let's not get the attitudes and stuff because you're my sister and I respect you. So
I don't have an attitude. I'm being direct to you, but you're literally speaking this, and you're not going to do that with me either. So you're stating your point, and you've been stating your point for quite some time.
So say
you have
the
a
proper
reason
ways.
for
Would
me
you
to
like?
respond?
Would you allow me to respond? So that's a better response. Go ahead.
The response that I have for you is that everything you're saying does not exist in a vacuum. I actually agree with you in that, yes, there has been an incredible denigration of Black worth and Black pride in this nation. I think it's also very important to acknowledge what has contributed to that. And to state that it is only Black people that have contributed to that is a false flag. So we have to admit that. So in order to have this conversation around how we got here, you can't say, oh, well, we're caring about the white woman getting braids and that doesn't matter and this thing. All of that attaches. All of that is actually a very big part of the lack of worth of Black people.
I'll ask you, do you think we're resilient? What does resilience mean to you? Do you think we have to be perpetual victims, or do you think that Black people are resilient?
I think that those are two different conversations. I think because I think that the concept of Black people being victims is really trying to not provide accountability to where the root problem for the actual cause is. And if we keep saying that somebody is a victim and that doesn't mean that the other person should have to actually have accountability, then what are we really doing? You can do both. You can be a victim and be resilient.
How do we do both if you stay in the victimhood? That's my question.
But your statement about Black people staying in the victim place is also your point of view.
But how do we rise above it?
We continue to rise above it by, one, pouring into our communities with mutual aid, but two, by simultaneously.
I'm going to say this. Black people don't have a victimhood. We don't have a victimhood. And the reason why, we're showing you right now. We're showing you right now. Niggas just stop caring. Now look at now. They have to put up a new word, Black fatigue. Are you serious? You see how fast that disappeared? Fast, was it Black fatigue? Black people don't got no Black fatigue. You do something dumb, you want a stupid prize, my nigga. You want a dumb prize. You want to run around here slapping people, trying to say whatever you want. Nigga, last year, a group of white people got beat with chairs and kicked the shit out of. Because they thought it was all right to jump a Black man. An elderly Black man. We beat the shit out of him. And you know what? I'm going to say this. This is when this shit took off. The FBA shit already been taken off, but that chair shit, niggas beating the shit out of people, fighting back, that's when that shit took off. Happened in August last year. What was it, the 5th? I think August 5th. When they pushed the white bitch in the water. Yeah. Now we got niggas like St. Michael's just crying. Oh, we need to be sticking together. Nigga, we don't need to stick together with you because all you're going to do is steal everything that we got. Go right back to what y'all niggas was doing. Talking shit. Making up things and making up words, making up other words to just to call us a nigger. Yes. Why the fuck would we want to be on your side? Y'all can't even, let me tell you something, St. Michael's. Your people can't even get along with your own people. All that bullshit with you, white people and fucking Jews. Y'all niggas is still white. Both of y'all niggas is white. Y'all niggas is arguing over, oh, yo, he's taking all the resources. Nigga, he's white. What the fuck? Y'all try, and this is why I say y'all niggas is pathetic, my nigga. I'm gonna be personally honest. Most of y'all white supremacists is pathetic. This is why niggas don't even respect y'all no more. That Confederate flag, I'll piss on that Confederate flag. Nigga, let me get my hands on a Confederate flag. I'll piss on that shit, nigga. That's how much respect I have for y'all white supremacists. Y'all niggas is losers. Y'all said the most stupidest thing. Nigga, you said the stupid shit to me earlier. You got mad at me because I said some foul shit to you. Y'all know what this nigga said to me? This nigga got mad at me and said, I got more subs than you. Nigga, you's a pussy. Why would I wanna debate you? You say pussy shit. You're like a Nick Fuentes. Your leader, let me tell you something. Your leader don't got no fucking backbone. Like I told you, he got ran out by transgenders and tree huggers, nigga. He got ran out of Boston, then told niggas he don't feel safe. And Boston is a systematic racist state. How the fuck he didn't strive through here? He should have achieved. That's how much of losers that y'all white supremacists is. I don't respect y'all at all. Y'all niggas is losers. Y'all niggas is sad and pathetic. This is what I'm going to tell you too, St. Michael's. If you don't like it in America, you can always go back home. The Caucasus Mountain of Georgia, Russia, my nigga. We do not need you here in America.
Making sure that we are challenging the systems that are in place to impede us. We have so many opportunities where we are trying to do mutual aid, and those things get disrupted by folks who want to have capitalist gain, by folks who want privatization. We used to have all these mom and pop businesses in our communities.
There's over 3 million black millionaires in America right now. You are an intelligent black woman that is successful.
That's irrelevant.
No one's stopping me from doing anything. I'm an intelligent black woman that
Many
graduated and is
efforts have
successful.
tried to stop me from doing what I do. We are not all equal in our capabilities. And we are not all equal in our ability to be invested in by others.
I agree with
we
you.
are not
That's
all
my question
equal
of
in our
resilient.
trauma.
Are we resilient?
We can't say because it is a false equivalency.
I believe that every black person has resilience.
We
From
keep
slavery
trying,
all the way
but
until
we
today.
keep trying to cause.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. You've been voted out.
First, I want to say, I want to kind of get rid of this like right, left ordeal. I really want to talk about just like our own personal views and what we've experienced, what we've seen. And when it comes to your claim about black on black crime, I really do believe, and I think a lot of people here do believe, especially based off of personal experiences and everything, that it is just lack of accountability. In the black community, we need to start taking responsibility for our actions and stop pointing
Shout
our
out to
fingers
borrowed
at other
time.
people and the white man. Because to be
Why
honest,
can't both happen at the same time?
because
Both are causes.
Because you gotta clean your own house before
Both
you
are
go
why?
complain. Because if we're
you're
gonna sit
dirtying my
here-
house,
no,
if you
no,
keep
it's
pouring
not-
shit into
no,
my house
it's-
and I'm cleaning it, why can't I do both? Why can't I clean my house and bar the windows from you shitting on my house?
It begins responsibility within us. If we're like,
Yes.
okay, oh, the white person's doing this to me, the white person's not, we're not
But
going
they
to ever
are.
come to the core of the
But
issue.
they are.
We need to take
And it's not even just the white person, because now we have seen very many races, people of very many backgrounds that are actively participating in the effort to keep a working class
Kwame?
down. Like that is
Shabaka?
absolutely a fact. It's not just white people. So I don't attend to that. But I will say the reality of there being systems in place is real. Over-policing is a real thing. You know what's also been really real is the effort of violence interruption in certain communities, right? So we've seen this in Detroit, we've seen this in New York, we've seen this in Baltimore, where there are communities that have said, what we're gonna do is we're gonna be like a neighborhood watch for our community. So that before the popo even come, before 12 even rolls up in here, we're gonna actually put ourselves in between the conflict and calm it down. And that has been incredibly effective. But you know what? It's not funded. It's not funded. And you would think that like city councils and mayors and governors would say, shit, you know what? This is going to save us so much money. Because why? Taxpayers keep having to pay for the fault of these police officers. And even though we say, well, only a certain number of people have died, that doesn't dispel the fact that a large amount, more black people are imprisoned than any other group in this nation. And that is not by accident.
Again, I started with accountability. And it just seemed like not.
But I disagree with you.
No,
I mean, I
it
don't
is.
don't disagree with you.
Because here's the thing. Look at our media. Look at rap. Look at what we're glorifying.
You're right.
We're glorifying violence.
Who's we? Wait, who's we? Who's we? Who's
the black community?
Who controls the
black community?
Who controls the distribution of these sources of media?
And who takes it in? And who takes it in?
Listen, if you're okay, so let me put it in this context. If I have a company, right, and you guys are my employees, and I determine what you get to eat every day, that's also going to determine how you exist in this company, right? Like if you come to work and I say the only thing you can eat is processed foods and fried foods, and you're not going to get to have the best vegetables, etc. What's that going to affect? Your health, that's going to affect your ability to operate, etc. This is how the United States operates. There's a lot of us that don't want to admit that as much as accountable as we want to be, all of our brains also don't operate the same way. Some of us are much more apt to be indoctrinated than others. That's a fact. There is a 1% of people that knows this. There's a whole show called Mad Men that's about advertising, etc. And if we don't acknowledge multiple things at the same time, then we simply cannot stop it. We can be as accountable as we want to be. And I hope that if you're right, because I hope you're right, I wish that it was a situation where if black people could just be accountable, then nothing else would matter. But unfortunately, that hasn't been the case because we have seen when we have Black Wall Street in Tulsa.
I'm gonna say this, Shabaka. The last thing you said before about Nigeria. Nigeria should be a power. Nigeria should be a superpower country, but it will never be a superpower country because it's too cutthroat. The country is too cutthroat. They turn on each other. You know, so they'll always have that problem. That's why if you notice, a lot of Nigerians is getting kicked out of a lot of countries. A lot of people don't want Nigerians in this country. For God's sakes, America has a travel ban with Nigeria. So it's best thing I can tell you is if Nigeria wants to strive, and I told you this before, get all the education that they have from America, bring that shit back to Nigeria and build. If you don't build, nothing's gonna happen. Nigeria don't really build anything. Yeah, y'all probably have 1 or 2 good communities, but other than that, your country's a piece of shit. And it shouldn't be like that. So it's just, that's the only way I think Nigeria can be a superpower country. They have resources. It's not like they don't got resources. First, they don't know what to do with the resources. Second of all, they have no type of political power. They have no media. Like, niggas don't know what's going on in Nigeria right now. Niggas think that niggas really just think Nigerian niggas is just shitting in the streets. And y'all got signs up talk about don't defecate in the street. No open defecations. So it's just, like I said, y'all fucked up when y'all turned on Black Americans. So, yeah.
And we have Black Wall Street in Durham, that when we actually do hold our own and build our own communities, they will still come and run it down.
Yeah.
Us, you've been voted out.
Get him out of here. See, he's getting destroyed. These niggas is out here getting destroyed.
Oh my God.
Joshua.
It's not. It's too divided, Shabaka.
So I have 2 claims I want to settle. So I'm originally from New Orleans, right? And I've seen black on black crime my whole life, right? Yes. I don't believe it have nothing to deal with the police. It's more with the community.
Facts.
Because there's a lot of pride that's in that city, where to the point where this person can't tell me nothing. I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna take him out.
Yeah.
It's that simple in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Now Cali is probably the same way, but I feel like every state is different. Mm-hmm. You probably the way how your belief is might be right? But in New Orleans, it's a little different. Also, my second claim is this: we proclaim so much about Black Lives Matter, but when it comes down to a white person killing a black person, it's a big deal. It just don't make no sense to me.
Do you know what the statement Black Lives Matter is actually stating?
Yeah, well, just started off from George Floyd.
Start off from Mike Brown.
Mike Brown, okay.
So Black Lives Matter is really simply just stating that when Black people are murdered by the police, that our lives should matter. And that oftentimes it is not considered. It is oftentimes presented as we deserved it.
Salute same day parlay.
Done something to cause it, and that our lives are disposable. We also don't ever see
shit
on the same level as others.
See, Kwame doing that lion tether shit again. You just got called out, Kwame. Jamaican Batman, you got called out. Yeah, we've been roasting them all day today, same day parlay. Salute to you. Why do these guys all have the same demeanor, beta, passive? Yeah, let's talk about that. Yeah, they do. And the thing about it is just, they have no backbone. I don't think they have a backbone where, and also too, is where they live at. There used to be, let me tell you something, a lot of white supremacists and Karens are very passive aggressive. And that's where some of these beta men pick that shit up. They pick it up from white women, you know? The passive aggressive shit, then when you flip out on, oh, I don't know why he did that, and they just start fucking crying and all that other shit. Yeah, it's pathetic, man.
When the police incur violence against Black people. So Black Lives Matter is a statement asserting that our lives are worth justice, our lives are worth preservation, and we have seen in innumerable instances a level of restraint operated between the police and people of other races that they do not seem to carry with Black people. So that's what Black Lives Matter means. It doesn't mean that anyone else's life doesn't matter. It means that ours matter just as much as their lives.
That's good that you cleared it out for people.
I appreciate you. Now, as it comes to New Orleans, tell me this. Well, first of all, it was, I think it's the senator of Louisiana who literally made a campaign ad, Kennedy it was, that said, do you want Louisiana to be run by crackheads? Like he said that, like straight
they
up.
have a bunch of them there. Yeah.
No, you're good. Same day parlay. Salute to you, man.
Would you say that New Orleans gets that particular areas of New Orleans? For instance, like the Ninth Ward.
The Ninth Ward's crazy, but I'm just saying it ain't crazy.
Would you say that funding and attention is dispersed equally across New Orleans? In terms of resources, because I know that from living through Katrina, that is absolutely not the case.
I agree with you in that case. Everybody's not equal when it comes down to resources. For sure, I agree with you.
Here's the thing I want to just impart is that I think that we have a very distorted version of what resiliency and what restorative practice is, because we live in a time where we're seeing so many things happen so fast. So like we've seen technology like advance so fast, right? Like we have seen just our lives shift so fast that I think that we forget that as humans, our ability to recalibrate, to heal from trauma is simply not the same as the things that we are watching in technology. And so we cannot just casually think that people just get over things. Katrina, people in New Orleans are still reeling from Katrina.
Yeah, they are. That's true. That's true.
You know
That is true.
So when we talk about the amount of crime and violence that is still living and happening explicitly in Katrina, we have to also talk about the amount of trauma, the amount of drug use, the amount of policing, the amount of all of these things that physically harm people across the world, not just in the United States, across the world, in communities that are not being served, and how those communities never get the chance to quote unquote pull themselves up by the bootstraps.
Yeah, I agree. I personally agree. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I agree. Yeah,
that
for
was fun.
sure. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Thanks, Josh.
No problem.
Hey, before we go any further, we want to just work right air and just back out.
The next claim is systemic racism isn't a theory.
Samuel.
Hello, John Samuel. First name. All right.
Blame my parents.
Hi, parents.
I want to listen to you first. Why do you feel that? Why do you feel that way?
Oh, John went to debate training before he came here. Okay. Ultimately, I feel that way because it's simply just facts. It's in the books, and that's why there have been laws to challenge it. There have been innumerable instances where actual systems were created specifically for the impediment of Black people to advance. We have also seen numerous instances where there were things created for Black people to advance, and they were taken back under the auspices of, we don't want them to advance. Ultimately, systemic racism exists in our institutions on a government level, in our institutions, whether it's prisons or schools, and it is undeniable because they are actively trying to reinstate it right now.
Can you give me an example of one of those systems that you believe perpetuates that cycle of racism? Redlining? Okay.
Yes.
And how does that, can you elaborate? How is that affecting the Black community?
Do you know what redlining is?
I know a little bit. I'm not an expert.
Redlining was a system that was created to determine property values, and that said Black people can only live in certain neighborhoods and not in other neighborhoods. And the redlining lowered the property values of those Black neighborhoods by stating that they were more savage, that they were more dangerous, etc. Thus, they were not able to own property that was on a level of par to their white counterparts. There were also many efforts at just simply not allowing Black people to get loans for property, putting them in predatory scenarios where they were being essentially unable to own land. And that inability to own land, but still having to pay out a mortgage, if you will, or a rent, continue to put Black people in a conundrum of not being able to excel at the same economic rate as their white counterparts.
What I'm hearing from you, if I'm hearing correctly, is it feels like in the United States that for a while we've kind of established these systems at their foundation, and they've continued on, and they've continually just oppressed black people, and we haven't dismantled them, and we haven't done much so they continue to complete the cycle. Is that what I'm hearing correctly?
Well, in many of these systems, they have been dismantled maybe in name, but because this country has never dismantled the culture of racism.
Oh yeah, everybody, don't forget to like and subscribe and comment in the live chat, and also share. And if you want to give donations, I put the donation link up there, so you can just click either one. Was it Super Chat, Cash App, or Venmo? I don't know what the difference is, but I just got text and Bobby told me to do that.
They end up still living in practice. So we see that, for instance, in the way that the appraisal system works. Now we saw there was an entire documentary on how appraisals have been also very racist, home appraisals, right? So your ability to sell your house for the value that it deserves.
Right.
There were a number of homes, particularly in Marin County, California, where black people had one appraisal when they had their blackness up. So they had their dashikis hanging, and they had their, they had their Black Good Times poster. But then when they removed all of those items and put up white people and a dog in the house, and then had their white friends come and pose as the owners of the home, the appraisal was significantly higher. And we have seen that in a number of instances. Now, of course, that is just Marin County, but there are a number of other scenarios where this has been relayed.
Yeah, they're not used to the change. The thing is, I'm going to say this. We're coming to a time where as a black American, we're so used to letting everybody say what they want to about us. From Africans to Latinos to Asians to whites to Indians. We used to just everybody was doing that Martin Luther King bullshit, the John Lewis bullshit. And think, oh yeah, let's do the politically correct shit. And don't forget, even with the Pan-African shit, they wasn't even really on point with us like that. When this shit happened, they talk about protesting. But protest never worked with us. Only time it really worked is when they seen a little bit of violence. Or we start disrupting. Violence, or we mess with their money. What we have done, we're basically fucking up their economy where they make a lot of money. And that's the only reason why these people are mad. For example, conservatives. Nick Fuentes is so used to getting money, getting white people's money or getting white supremacy money for disrespecting black America. Now this nigga's in his grandmother's basement still trying to promote this shit. He's mad at Jason Whitlock because basically Jason Whitlock took his fucking job. Jason Whitlock took his fucking job and took his circle. This is why you got Myron Gaines and Andrew Tate and Nick Fuentes bitching and moaning. That's why you got them bitching and moaning. Because black people are on code. Andrew Tate can't come back to the black community and say, oh yeah, we need, yada, yada, yada. Please help me. That nigga is excommunicado like fucking Candace Owens.
And that's why there were certain efforts by the Democratic Party to say, okay, well, we're going to try and step in for this.
I actually remember that case, and I watched it with the family, and I thought that was just really just terrible. But the problem I guess I have with systemic racism is, I guess for somebody like me, where my family comes from, the Deep South, you probably don't even know it, Aliceville, Alabama. Okay. That's where my grandparents are from. And my grandpa came, if you saw the house that he grew up in, I'm not trying to be funny, it looked like a slave house. It was just, they grew up in poverty.
Yeah.
And the fact that he was able to go from that.
Nigga, my grandfather had cotton fields. The fuck is this nigga talking about? Nigga, that's normal down south if you live in a country. So, you gotta understand too, people who down south, some people lived on farms. So they come from an agriculture community. When a nigga say they're poor, they still got a whole bunch of food in their house. It's not like the North when you only got bologna and cheese and bread in your refrigerator. You know, niggas grow their own food. People breed their own meats and stuff. So like it's different. For him just saying that, it doesn't really mean shit if you're from the North. But I understood because I lived on a farm before. So yeah.
And get the highest rank enlisted in the United States Navy amidst, all these, systems, so to speak. And he was able to buy his own house out in San Diego. He was able to, pass on these things to his son, my dad, and his grandchildren. Now I'm able to get an education. I was able to get my undergrad, my master's, that, the great-great-grandson of enslaved peoples can now say that, educated and can even run for Congress. I don't see how these systems are still in place as they were before. Because before, I would say you do have a little bit of a foothold. You do have some validity there. But I just think these days, when we call it systemic racism, really what we're calling it is those people who may still be in those institutions, those individual people who may actually be racist and hold some racist ideals, who are continuing to perpetuate this. I believe
that is damn near every
those
FBA
people.
story.
In all reality, the problem is not the systemic racism. The problem is us. The problem starts with us, with those people who are perpetuating these, racist ideals. And so I feel like just to attack these systems is just, it's nonsensical.
Who's running the systems?
Like which system? You're talking about
whether
Congress,
whether it's the prison industrial complex. We're seeing this now with immigration and ICE. We're seeing this also with the effort at not making schools available for equal level of schooling available with the voucher systems that are now allowing tax dollars to allow people to go to segregated schools.
Right.
Who is controlling those systems? So for instance, in Tennessee, right?
Yeah.
So in Tennessee, you have a Senate and a House of Representatives that is largely controlled by white Republicans and that have actively said, we are not going to consider what the people want in our constituencies. We are going to simply just do what we want to do, to the point where they have removed.
So it's only in those states that have largely white legislators or largely white people are controlling these systems. I'm not trying to.
All right, guys, I'm so sorry. You have been voted out. Please return to your seat.
Thank you.
Oh, Lord.
So to go back to your claim, you basically said something about Tennessee and how they said what exactly. You said they are not in favor of what their people said, or?
Yeah, Tennessee has actively said, we're not really listening to our constituency. We're not even going to allow them in the gallery when we're voting on certain issues. So for instance, like when it comes to like guns in the classroom, like the constituency very largely said, we do not want guns in the classroom. And they were like, well, we don't care. We're going to do it anyway. We've also seen them actively silence members of the House of Representatives who are Black. And
so I will say, I'm going to say this. I don't mind if there's guns in a classroom, but I feel like they need to be protected. They need to be secured, locked up, safe. And I think every security guard should have a gun, just in case one of these crazy white supremacists come up and shoot up the fucking school. We can get busy. I personally, honestly think Black Americans' churches should have guns. I'm just being personally honest. So yeah.
Not silence someone who is doing the exact same action.
So I disagree with that.
Gloria. Shout out to the Justins.
You are right, actually, on this aspect. I did actually remember a time where 2 Black Democrats, I believe, were actually not allowed to speak, and that was interesting. And I found that really insane, considering they're representatives of the state.
Yeah.
So no, I totally can get where you're coming from, but I don't think that's a institutionalized problem where it's a law per se. I think it's more so a personal vendetta in a way.
What's the difference if you are a lawmaker and you are exacting your personal choice through impediment of law change?
So if we're going to go based on systemic racism, it has to be institutionalized, which means it has to be written into law, made public. When it comes to that aspect, that's not necessarily made public by law. That's made public by choice and actual discrimination by person.
So I can give you an example in Tennessee.
Okay.
So for instance, in Tennessee, we can say that they are put into law that now tax dollars, people's the public's tax dollars will be supporting voucher systems. The voucher systems for the schools allow parents to choose whatever school they want their child to go to using taxpayer money. And these schools can be private schools, and private schools are not in any way limited from creating systems of segregation. And this is actually how segregated schools was carried out previous to Brown versus Board of Education. So this is a systemic example. We also can acknowledge that systemic examples come from not always it being written into law. And I think that is a real straw man argument for the way that a lot of colorblind racism is carried out in the United States. And what happens when we do that is we ignore the fact that most of the people making the laws are not gonna put their racism on the books.
Oh, that's true. Obviously not going to put on the books. But when it comes to the Civil Rights Acts of 1964, then you also want to talk about the one in 1968. They did actually give more fair housing equality.
That was
obviously,
the goal.
Yeah, that's true.
But you see, that's the thing. It's like, if so that's the difficult part of not changing a culture. You can change the law all day, but as Martin Luther King Jr., as the Dr. Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. talks about in his final book, he says, I feel like I integrated my people into a burning house because he understood America to be a place of morality.
Well, when it came back to, even back in the 1960s, like Lyndon B. Johnson actually proposed many systems in place.
Remember when I told people that? And I was like, yeah, everybody, y'all got to stop using that Martin Luther King bullshit. She said it. I'm not the only one that said that. I was like, Martin Luther King regret what he did with Black America in the Black community. He regret integrating Black America with white America. He regretted that shit. That's why when he started talking about tangibles and reparations and policies, they killed him. They killed them. That's why I said I don't believe in segregation. I believe in separation. I believe in separation. I don't believe in segregation. I still do believe that, like, yo, if you want to go live amongst white people, you should. But you should have a choice if you want to live amongst Black Americans, you know, and other communities. Like, look at Chinatown. If you're from Boston, there's Chinatown. Chinatown has been the same for almost 60 to 70 years. Probably even 80 years. It has never changed. Is that segregation or is that separation? My auntie lived near Chinatown. But she don't personally, well, does she live in Chinatown? I think she does live in Chinatown, kind of. But yeah. It's just, this is the stuff that we talk about. This is the stuff that happens.
For that, people still got lynched.
Well, I can't really say that's a systemic problem. That's definitely a personal heart problem. Those are more people's individual choices against someone else. But when it came down to,
if the system that's in place does not incarcerate those people or create any repercussions for those actions, then it is systemic. Because when you don't allow for there to be repercussions for harmful behaviors of the people, you're literally saying our system is okay with this. So that's what Black Lives Matter is about, right? Saying like, okay.
That's when he started, after he said that, that's when he started being radical. People only remember that I have a dream bullshit that he has, and him walking across my grandma's the bridge to go to my grandma's house, my Grammy's house, and my great Gram's house. But you gotta look at it. They were getting attacked. That was the weak squad. That was the squad that we shall overcome type of niggas. There was other squads that these white supremacists wasn't fucking with. Cause these people will burn their fucking building down. They will burn it. Let me ask you a question. Do y'all think when Martin Luther King died, niggas was just crying? Niggas was burning down cities and states. They had to call James Brown. James Brown was actually in Boston at the time performing. He had to stop his show and tell niggas stop burning down fucking cities. So do you think a nigga was just getting beat up the whole time? This is what y'all have to understand. This is what you have to think. These niggas wasn't only... There was other people fighting. There was the Martin Luther King way, or there was the other way. The get busy way. Niggas was out here really getting busy. So don't think, oh yeah, niggas was just getting attacked by dogs and getting sprayed with water hose. Niggas will pop a hole in you. I'm being personally honest. Niggas will pop some hot slugs in you. That shit was not going down like that. I don't know. This is why I tell people stop telling that fucking story about Martin Luther King. Because it dehumanizes what Black America really actually done. You're telling like 10% of the story and 90% you're just forgetting about. You're forgetting about all the people that, you know, who had these guns out here really shooting people. You forget about after this nigga died, fucking the Black Panther Party ran up in City Hall with guns. Talk about this is my Second Amendment to bear arms. Yes. This is why I hate, this is why I always tell people all the time, I don't like Martin Luther King's story. To me, he was weak. Did he help? Yes, he helped. But I think he was weak. I thought he was a pawn until the end. The end when he started being radical. Martin Luther King was a radical too. Like, y'all gotta understand. Martin Luther King wasn't like we shall overcome and saying peaceful shit. Y'all, let me tell you something. And y'all do the same shit to Jesus Christ. You act like Jesus Christ wasn't out here calling white women bitches. That nigga called a white woman a dog because she wanted Jesus Christ to help her child because her child was sick. And he called her a dog because his people were struggling. And she seen that. And she was being inconsiderate. He called her a bitch. Basically, he said you dog, but he called her a bitch, basically.
If police are going to act in this way, well, there should at least be fair repercussions across all people that they're doing this to, and they're not carrying out those repercussions for Black people. Why?
Yeah, facts.
And so the system
You're
is
right.
supporting
Salute
this
Del
personal
Monte.
point of view that you're talking about, and that's what makes it
is
also
on her
systemic,
last leg.
along
Yeah.
with the fact that we know
She's
for a
on point
fact
today,
that the
Del
number
Monte.
of Black people incarcerated is greater per capita than white people.
I'm gonna say this, Del Monte. She been packing these niggas out. She been packing these sassy niggas out. And I'm gonna say this: if this is Black conservative, they're not gonna last. Black conservatives is not gonna last if they're acting like this. I'm being personally honest. Like, we're watching right now, these motherfuckers get packed out by a radical. Not a liberal, not a Democrat, not a conservative or a Republican. A radical. She only cares about Black America.
We know that Black people are having longer sentences for the same crimes than white people. This not me making that up. Like, that is actual data.
All right,
So
pause.
systemic is real.
Pause. You've been voted out by the majority. Please return to your
Thank
seat.
you.
Thank you.
All right, how you doing, Amanda? I'm Ryan.
Ryan. Nice
to meet you. Thanks for being here. All right, well, what I would say.
Her reparation issue is that we should get reparation and remediation. I'm not fluent on the remediation, but I think personally we need reparations, policies, and tangibles. And like I said, I don't believe in segregation. I believe in separation. If you want to be separated with your own kind, you should be able to do it.
Is as far as systematic racism, right? I think most of us would agree that at the very least it has occurred in this country, right? You know, we've had slavery, we've had Jim Crow segregation, all these different things.
Yeah.
I think my argument would be that right now in modern America, I don't think, at the very least, it's not as prevalent as it has been to where it could stop us from being successful, okay? I would say that it's not a thing anymore where it needs to be talked about so much and so much attention focused on it. I don't think that currently there is systematic racism in a way that it's going to be harmful to us, you know, like I said, to stop us. If anything, really, I think institutions such as things with DEI.
What do you think DEI is?
basically, I think that it's in a way it's racism against other races outside of blacks. And so,
where did you get that concept of it from?
I've
Most white
researched a lot of
women
things.
gets
I looked at different
DEI.
steps from both sides of the argument, things like that. But basically, my point is, I think that as far as systematic racism, I think that there's evidence from the other side, in that there's different things that are pushing black people up in ways that are not fair, and different things like that. Because I think that we should be merit-based. I think that should always be merit-based, and where we're in, when there's jobs and different things like that, race should not be something that's.
I will say this: it will never be merit-based, because everybody will always use some type of racism into things. It has never been about, oh yeah, who can do the job. I'm just being personally honest. At any jobs, if you see, let me tell you something. If you just seeing more Africans at a job and stuff like that, the reason why you hire, like, I'm gonna be personally honest. The reason why I see a lot of people hire Africans, because they don't take that many days off, and when they do take days off, they take months off. They take like 6 to 8 months off. They take mad days off. And 9 out of 10, and this is just my experience. This is just my experience. The ones that I have worked with, it's weird. They always change their shifts. Like, their shifts is never the same. But I will say this, most of them, or a good handful of them, are reliable. Reliable to work. But do work, this is why I always tell people, I don't want to hear that, oh yeah, they work harder. I've been working with basically I've been working with immigrants most of my life. And like, most of them don't work hard like that. once the probation side is up, it's a wrap. You're not firing them. They're gonna be lazy.
Considered. And so I think that, let's say that there are ways right now where systematic racism is still alive. Again, it's not holding us back to a point where we can still be successful. We've seen so many examples, today in modern times, where Black Americans can, there's no opportunities that I have that a white person, or that a white person has that I don't have. I believe that all opportunities.
Are you sure about that? Can you actually say that?
I would say that I have every opportunity in this country to be successful, to do what I want to do, and to stand on business that every other race has. Absolutely. And
do you
and,
have
and
the
again,
same support?
Even if I don't have the same support, I can do what I got to do.
Do you have the same support?
I probably have more. I
do
can
you
have
the
more
same
support
community
than
support?
I have excellent community support. Absolutely.
Lucky for you.
Sure. Yeah.
Where did you grow up in a lower income, middle income, high income community?
It was middle income.
Okay.
Yeah. So again, I think that even those who grew up in very needy situations, right, they may not have been dealt a great hand of cards.
But they still.
They can still, I think it comes down to accountability. You can still play your hand and play your cards strategically in a way where you can still be successful, you can still do your thing, and you can wind up on top. And there's nothing stopping us from doing that.
Would you say that low-income white people and low-income Black people have the same ability to excel?
I would say they have the same ability to excel.
Okay, so I'm going to start countering from that point then. Sure. So ultimately, we know that our low-income communities are not given the same access to resources on a myriad of levels. They don't even have the same air quality, okay? We know that low-income communities in general are also gonna be much more policed than other communities. We know that policing as it exists in the United States came from slave catching. So even the tradition of policing comes from protecting property, not protecting people, okay? So let's start there. When we talk about low-income, like the working class Black people in this nation, we know that they have never been considered, ever, whether they were slaves or not. They just weren't considered. And we also know, as our brother Isaiah pointed out, that there are still people in very powerful positions that hold very personal positions as it relates to racism. And so in that way, they are impediments to someone moving forward. When we talk about DEI, the concept of DEI is not about lowering a standard. It's about widening the options. So we live in a nation that I feel like a lot of y'all are looking at the United States as a long history of something. We have a short history, all right? For 400 years, there was slavery. Black people were not even considered whole humans. We were 3/5 human. After the Civil War, during Reconstruction, Black people were then subjected to the Black Laws. The Black Laws were specifically for Black people. The Black Laws incarcerated Black people at such an exorbitant rate that they were able to get another slave labor force through the 13th Amendment, because you had Black people that were serving entire life, like months-long, years-long sentences for jaywalking.
Okay.
So when we look at these things, we act as if, well, why can't we just get over that? That's 2 generations previous, okay? So if a father in the early 1900s was incarcerated for 2 years, how do you think that would impede their family from being able to grow, right?
Sure.
Now you're affecting the ability for their children to have 2 parents in the home. You also now have a mother who's like incredibly stressed and may have to always be working, so she's not able to parent, etc. We also know that there is a continued effort in this nation to not have Black people know the history of this nation. Like our good sis here was talking about, like, we have resilience, but this nation actively works systemically to keep that from us, right? We look in Florida at the laws that they are passing to not allow education about our past. And we know that if we don't know where we came from, how can we know where we're going?
Sure, okay.
All right, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry.
All good.
That's flags.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi again.
We cool now?
We good. We good. I think we're on the same.
Yeah, because she
we're
ate your
kinda looking at the
food.
same
That's
side of the same
why.
coin, and I think because I think we both want the betterment of the Black community, and I think we're maybe coming from it from different ways. And so I do respect your position to what you were saying as well, that there are certain things and powers at play. And I've experienced racism firsthand. A lot of conservatives may try to act like, oh, there's no racism in America. I absolutely believe there is racism in America. I believe racist people exist. I just don't think that the systems as they stand today are inherently racist, because I've seen too many Black people overcome. And
I don't think she has ever been to Boston. Boston is one of the most systematic racist states in the U.S. I'll be personally honest. Nigga, let me tell y'all something. I remember I lost my job. I was living with my mother at the time before I was like, yo, fuck it, I'm moving out. I'm going to get some money. My mother's like, yo, go see if you could get like food stamps or some shit. Nigga, I signed up for food stamps. You know these niggas denied me, and I wasn't bringing no income in. These niggas wouldn't even give me no food stamps. Yeah, she never been, yo. She said she's from Chicago. I highly doubt that. I highly doubt that, because I don't think Chicago niggas will let her talk like this. She got the blonde hair. She probably got a white boyfriend. Like, I'm being personally honest. She's an immigrant. She got the white look. I'm being personally honest.
just feel like a lot of times what's left out of the dialogue is self-accountability and like
Yeah,
self.
she never
we
been
talk
to
about how we
Louisiana,
were
I'll tell you
three-fifths of
that,
a person,
yeah.
but now we are 100%, I guess, according to the law or whatever, a person. And I feel like at the end of the day, if you wanted to walk out here right now and decide, you know what, I want to change my career, I want to do that, you can. And that's why so many people, and Nigerians come here, and Indians come here, and so many people who are not white, who are supposed to be discriminated against because they're not white, they come here and they become doctors and lawyers. Why? Because to your point, there's
Watch
community.
this.
There's
Watch
a sense
this.
of pride about, you know what, I got to go honor my parents back in Nigeria. I'm part Nigerian. I have to go honor my parents. I have to go honor my
There you go. That's where that mindset came from. I told you they are cutthroat. They will never, their country will never strive. I'm gonna say this: y'all have the richest black man in America, right? In the United States. In the world right now. And I'm gonna still say this: y'all will never strive, and the reason why is because of this type of mindset. This type of mindset. She points her fingers at Black America, and we seen them pictures in Nigeria. Oh, niggas shitting in the fucking water, in the streets, in the dirt. And she points her fucking fingers at Black America. This is why we will never ever have solidarity. Now watch this. Shabaka. Your sister right here. She points her fingers at Black America and at our problems. And don't act like her family don't have problems in Nigeria. What do you say about that? Watch this,
They're
everybody.
not twerking and shaking booty. They're getting
They
set.
are
Watch
literally
this.
twerking and shaking booty in
The
Nigeria.
Nigerians I know ain't doing it. If they are,
Africa.
They're doctors twerking and shaking
Look
booty.
it.
I have to go honor my elders. They're not twerking and shaking booty. They're getting
They
set.
are literally twerking and shaking booty in
The
Nigeria.
Nigerians I know ain't doing it. If they are,
We
twerking,
literally
they
learned it
doctors
from Africa.
They're doctors twerking and shaking
literally
booty. So.
have.
This is why we will never, ever have solidarity with Africans. United States is based on racism. Blacks do not care how she looks. We are Nigerian. Africans supposed to build Africa. Africans supposed to build Africa. There's nothing wrong with Nigeria. You know nothing. Oh, see? What I tell y'all, everybody?
Maybe they can shake because they got
Can
that
I-
money.
can I tell one lie?
But do you see what I'm saying, though? We have to be honest,
shit I'm
Amanda.
talking about.
When
Well,
Indians come here,
as a fellow daughter of an immigrant,
Okay.
right? So my mother's from Grenada. My mother did come here and was able to work and was able to get green cards
Props
for
to
folks.
her.
So shout out to my mom. There's a very big difference in growing up somewhere and coming from a place where you are the majority and where your people are running the show than being somewhere where your people have been subjugated the entire time your people have been
but your
here.
mama came here and she wasn't the majority. So how did she succeed?
She succeeded because she came here with the fortitude of coming from a place.
Her resilience, right?
No, but
and she had her village.
let me say what I'm saying.
Okay, I'll let you unpack.
If we don't acknowledge divide and conquer in the United States, we are having a pointless conversation.
I agree.
We have to acknowledge that there is a concerted effort at divide and conquer in the United States. We're literally watching it happen right now with an effort to divide and conquer and have black people fighting immigrants and have black people saying that immigrants don't matter.
And fighting white people.
White people is not the point.
This is why I said what I said. You see how this girl just came and just attacked Black America, and we just found out she's a fucking immigrant? Why does a woman who has a mother who is an immigrant have to tell her that there is a divide and conquer? Black Americans been knew that. Black Americans like, yo, you need to handle your own business and we will handle ours. It had to come that far because this is what's been going on for the last 50 to 60 years. This is what the fuck been going on for the last 50 to 60 years. No. Then let me tell you something. I'm gonna tell you the reason why I didn't want to debate St. Michael's, especially on black violence, because you know what? They add black on black violence, blacks, immigrants, and other people who wants to cosplay of being black and give us their degeneracy. And this is why we want a delineation. We want to see who's committing all these fucking crimes. It's not black Americans. We're not dying at a high rate like that. These are immigrants that are fighting. These are immigrants that's bringing over their tribalistic things. This is not us. This is why she has a mindset on black Americans. Then when she tells her, like, yo, your family was the one who created the fucking twerking and shit. Oh, none of my Nigerian friends.
The concept of white people.
But you
is
want to
about
put all
who
black
are
people in a category,
upholding
nigga.
As a supremacy of whiteness versus people who understand that there should be an egalitarianism. There should
I
be an
believe that
equality.
we are becoming the new white supremacists.
We
'cause
are.
We've been
We
putting them on
are.
a pedestal.
We are.
We feel like we can't
We
do
are.
anything.
No, it's not that
We
we're
ain't
putting
getting
them.
nothing,
It's not
won't
that
be
we're putting
nothing.
them on a pedestal. It's that we are joining them and instead weaponizing our blackness against our people. When we do what you're saying, we are saying, I am better because I figured it out, and so you're the problem because you didn't figure
But
it
Amanda,
out.
what about if I believe that the American dream is, I have a right to that as well? Is that me joining white people, or is that me saying, you know what, I
What's
want
the
a life for
American
my
dream?
The American dream for me, because it may look different from other people. Some people it's a boss chick. For me, I want my kids to grow up in a wonderful neighborhood. I want them to go to college. I want to have a 401k. I want to do this. I want to do that. So I feel like a lot of times in the black community, we associate anything that's right or that's just or that's striving forward with whiteness. So when you say that we're
it's
working
not
with
that it's
them,
whiteness, it's capitalism. And I think that's what we have to understand the difference
her the
of.
fuck
The
outta
concept of
here.
capitalism
Yep,
always
get
is
her outta
rooted in
here.
exploitation.
But
So
Amanda, we're sitting here benefiting from capitalism, and you know that because you would.
I understand that we are
benefiting.
benefiting. I understand that we are benefiting from capitalism, but I also understand that we would have other people and a majority of people benefit if we were not solely capitalist. That is what it means to be a black radical. Is to understand that I can benefit as well as others.
So, Amanda, what is your solution then? Because we know that capitalism benefits us, and people are coming here every day.
My solution is what I continue to say. We need to have coalition building across cultural differences, across ethnicities, across classes.
And that includes collaborating with white people.
I've never said it didn't.
But I feel
this
like a lot of
this obsession with white people fails to acknowledge the fact that
Immigrants.
there are people who benefit from white supremacy.
But we live in America,
Let me finish
Amanda.
my point.
Go ahead.
There are people who benefit from white supremacy that do not identify themselves as white. They don't consider that to be the most important element of their
Pan-Africanism.
identity, because they understand that at the end of the day, we need to see each other as humans that all deserve a right to exist.
Exactly.
We all deserve a right to exist, and I shouldn't have to earn my right to exist. And
You know,
that is what
but
capitalism
what makes you think
does.
that you have to earn it? That's what I'm
That
saying.
is
Like,
what
I
this
don't feel
nation
that
is.
way.
You do have to earn it.
You don't have to earn
Yes,
it.
you do.
We are
That
in
is why we are
America, Amanda.
criminalizing the poor. We are criminalizing the poor on a regular basis.
How so?
How so? Because we're not even allowing for a wage to happen to allow people to get out of poverty.
Facts.
We're seeing inflation grow.
We
No.
both have people in our family that have done it, so we
No,
can't
we
say
have not
that.
had people that are done it. My mother came to America with an entire nursing degree. I can't say, oh, well, my mother did it. Why can't you? Because my
mother was
They're
pregnant at
saying
19 from the
one
south side of
thing,
Chicago with no degree and still made.
She's saying, this is what she's saying, Shabaka. She's saying that we should be together. We should be having solidarity, but at the end of the day, basically immigrants has an obsession, a fetishize with white people this, white people that, white people this. They do what there are white immigrants right now is weaponizing white supremacy. This is why you got the Nick Flintas. This is why you got the Walter Wheats. This is why you got what's his name? Officer Tatum and shit like that. And let me tell you something. Officer Tatum is a coon. We got these type of people, but guess what? The difference between black people and immigrants, black people will tell you stay away from that motherfucker. Black people will tell you that. Immigrants ain't gonna tell you that. They're gonna let you learn from yourself.
Good for your mom, but this is the thing.
So we can't do it.
It's not. The question isn't whether or not some people can do it. The question and the reality is that it is not available to everyone in an equal way.
And that's unfortunate, man, but you know we live in a
It's
broken
not a matter-
society. I went to
well, then
Nigeria
that's what
and they're
we're
having the
talking
same
about.
problems, and
But
it's a
that's
bunch
what
of
we're
black people that are
talking
running
about. It's a broken
Nigeria.
society.
But it's the same thing in
But
Nigeria. and
Nigeria
there's black
is a
people in
broken
power.
society,
With black
whereas
people in
Burkina
power.
Faso is not. Burkina Faso is not.
That's time.
My final claim is black conservatism fails to meet the needs of the working class. Ant dog. Okay, talk to me.
So I think black conservatives, we're the ones who really want the best for working people.
Oh.
I think we're the ones. Like a lot of the liberals, a lot of the leftists, they wanted to do things like office work. They wanted to go reparations, try to get things from the government and get handouts. We say, hey, go out there and work. Go out there and get these jobs that are available. Work with your hands, do skilled trades. That's where a lot of us talk about skilled trades. So working class, that's really a black conservative thing, in my humble opinion.
I would beg to disagree. I think that would be true if black conservatism also created pathways for people to get those jobs and also to be able to challenge the corporations that are using their labor, that are stealing from them and not impeding them from having a union. So for instance, like in the South, right? I just left North Carolina where I met with the USSW, the Union of Southern Service Workers. This is an unofficial union of individuals who work at places like Waffle House, at Food Lion, etc. And their unofficial union is unofficial because the conservatives in that state will not allow for them to be officialized.
Legitimized.
Legitimized.
There you go. I got you.
It will not allow for them to be legitimized because then they would be able to push back legitimately on the corporations to get fair wages, right? So like someone was telling me in this organization that she was in Baltimore getting $15.25 as a minimum wage, and then when she moved Just one state away, she was now only getting $7.25 for minimum wage, but the cost of living was the same for her. So when we talk about, you know, the effort of saying go out and get these jobs and get these trades, et cetera, I think that that is valid, but I think that the impediments by leveling up corporations and by pouring into the effort of corporations to keep billionaires, as Black conservatives, you are...
That shit ain't gonna work, Shabaka. I'm telling you, that shit ain't gonna work. We've been trying to, let me tell you something, Shabaka. We have been trying to, we've been trying to have solidarity with Africans, Caribbeans, even Latinos. They all turned on us. Yeah, you might have a sprinkle of few, but most of them turned.
Are actually cutting off the ability for those people to excel.
Okay, I understand.
All right, everybody. I'm going to do something real fast. I got to go out for like 15 minutes. Give me a second. I'm going to jump on something real fast. Just 15 minutes, and I'll be back in 15 minutes. Afro Elite right here. Pan-African's dead. I'll be gone for 15 minutes.
Honest.
I got to go get my clothes real fast, all right?
There is a rank.
Just give me a second. I'll be right back.
Who is the most targeted, to who white supremacy sees as the biggest threat within the African diaspora. All the white supremacists, now let's look at this from a war perspective. They do not see every group of black people on the same threat level. They don't. Foundational black Americans are the biggest threat to white supremacy. And that's just history has proven that. We have been the most consistent with fighting white supremacy. All of these other Africans, it's good that they joined on the boat wagon. It's good that they're finally waking up and starting to follow the path. But we've been leading the path, and we set the path. We've been setting the trends, and we set the way. They've been just now following along, okay? So let's not act like they see us all the same. Now, one thing I will say, I do respect, like for instance, so you know, because I don't want this to seem like I'm disrespecting African heroes who aren't from America. Marcus Garvey, I talk about Marcus Garvey all the time. I talk about African heroes all the time. So this isn't to disrespect them, but this is to say that there is disorder in the black community. This is to say that Africans come over to America, and the second they get to America, they are not on no Pan-Africanism. They don't want to team up with black Americans. They think that they're better than black Americans. They talk all this shit. They talk all this shade. They throw shade to black Americans. They don't want to do no business with black Americans. We're Akatas. We're this. We're that. Okay. And they don't really have a problem with the fact that Pan-Africanism is dying. They only talk about Pan-Africanism when it benefits them. Now, black Americans, and I said on my video before, and the link is in the description, black Americans have been on this Pan-African ideology. We've been had that ideology. People credit Marcus Garvey for being the grandfather of Pan-Africanism, and I will give the respect that he deserves for that. He didn't create the concept. The concept actually was around prior to him. It's not like he invented Pan-Africanism, but we do give him credit, and we hold him to high esteem for being one of, I think, the first great pioneer of Pan-Africanism. So I'm not saying Pan-Africanism can't work, because it needs to work. It needs to work. It should work, and it will work, but there has to be order first. Let me start off by saying this. Black Americans in America, and I'm talking about foundational black Americans, descendants of slaves, who built the wealth of the country, built the wealthiest country, built the government, fought in all the wars, then fought for our rights, because we weren't even considered human beings. We fought for our rights as human beings. Then we fought for other people. We fought for other people to come over here, because white America didn't want any non-white immigrants coming to America. there was barely any non-white immigrants in America at all. They did not want pretty much any non-black immigrants, any black immigrants in America. And black Americans fought for the right for Africans and Caribbeans to come to America and get citizenship. So black Americans have always been on this Pan-African wave. When you go to African stores, when you go to black American African stores, you see the Pan-African flag. You see black Americans with Pan-African tattoos. You see that stuff. You can hear speeches of Pan-Africanism from Malcolm X. Everybody was talking about Pan-Africanism. Black Americans have always been on Pan-Africanism. But there's an issue with when it comes to Pan-Africanism, because the only way Pan-Africanism can truly work is if it goes both ways. And lately it has not been going both ways. Or actually, not lately. It's never really been going both ways. But lately, we've been starting to wake up to the fact that it hasn't been going both ways. There's been a lot of, and I'm going to show you some clips. There's been a lot of disrespect and condescending talk from Africans and from black people outside of the diaspora, outside of America. And black Americans have been just sitting back, and we've been taking it quietly, and we've been trying to push this Pan-African thing. But there has to be a point where we have to check you. I as a foundational black American, I'm going to have to check this disrespect because I'm seeing it way too much. Now, I'm going to show you a clip. This is a clip of a Nigerian boxer in America, and he is bragging about being a pure African. I want you to listen to this. Let me see. I'm going to pull it up right now. Gotta stay away from the ads, because you know how ads be. Because I get warnings and strikes and all that stuff. All right, here we go. Here we go, y'all.
Pure African. I'm not an African American. Like this boy said, like I'm not. I came here with a flight.
Now they blocked it out, but he said nigger with the ER. Nigger. He didn't say nigger, he said nigger. Let me take it back a little bit.
Like this boy said, like I'm not. I came here with a flight. I didn't come to America with a ship. So there is a difference, you know. Mm-hmm. There's a different blood flowing in our stream. So he can't he say this is not the toughest fight. He knows.
Now, he got his ass whooped by a black American. All that I didn't come here with on a ship. I came here with a flight. I came here on a flight. Now I'm gonna show you guys a whole bunch of proof of unprovoked aggression and hostility coming from the diaspora, specifically towards black Americans. I want you to notice all of this is specific towards black Americans. Notice how Africans don't go after Caribbeans. Africans don't go after Caribbeans, and Caribbeans don't go after Africans. They all seem to team up on black Americans. And black Americans just sitting here, not doing nothing, minding our business, trying to better ourselves and better black society, and we're getting all this attack. And I'm not gonna say all, because there are some on code non-foundational black Americans. There are some on code Africans and Caribbeans, and this isn't to say you, but y'all got a lot of coons that need to be addressed, because this is America. I'm gonna show you this other clip real quick. Hold on, let me see. Right here. When I say this is America, they come here because black Americans fought for them to be here. They would not be here if black Americans did not, first off, build the damn country and then fight for the rights, fight for civil rights for all non-white people, and then fought for the rights for them to even get here. So the second they get here, they're trying to mess up the game for black Americans. Now, when it comes to reparations, which is going to be a keystone in ending white supremacy and dismantling the economic system of white supremacy, we have Africans and Caribbeans from the diaspora trying to mess that up for us. I'm going to show you this clip. These are a bunch of Africans and Caribbeans who have negative opinions about Black Americans getting reparations. Notice they're all in America, though.
Reparations. You think black people should get reparations? And I was like, no, you didn't work for it.
Why are you so against reparations?
Valerie, it's a matter of a waste of time. We've got so much to do. And yet you have people who invest so much energy and attention on what I consider to be a dead-end idea, a dead-end movement.
If we were to pay reparations today, we would only divide the country further. We would insult many Black Americans by putting a price on the suffering of their ancestors.
Immigrants are not stopping reparations.
Okay.
You think black people should have reparations?
Okay. See, this is why it's important.
And I was like, no, you didn't work for it.
This is why it's important for me to address this, because we don't go, and here's the difference, because I know some people like, well, Black Americans, don't y'all be saying stuff about Africa? Not really. Not on the same level y'all say stuff to us. We don't say it nearly as much. And even if we did, we're not going to Africa. We're not going to Africa and then saying, you know what, y'all shouldn't get reparations. We're not going to Jamaica. Jamaica has a case right now where they are arguing and they're trying to get reparations from Europe. They're trying to get reparations from the UK, I believe, for the colonization and enslavement that they had to go through. And Black Americans aren't hating on that. We would look real stupid if Black Americans went to we would look real stupid if Black Americans went to Jamaica and then started saying, well, Jamaicans, well, I know I'm a Black American and I'm not Jamaican, but I don't think Jamaicans deserve reparations. When that's not our business to say anything. If it's not your business, if you're not entitled to reparations, to the reparations of descendants of slaves, then you need to shut the fuck up, honestly. They're coming over here eating off the benefits that we've worked for, and they get to come over here being spoiled as little brats talking about we don't deserve reparations. We didn't work for it. Now, the notion that Black Americans are lazy and they want a handout when they can't even have anything in their country. We were slaves. Black Americans, foundational Black Americans were slaves and had to fight all the way up until now and continue to fight just to be recognized as humans and just to have civil and human rights that they benefit from after the civil rights movement. When you had children being sprayed by water cannons, you had people being eaten up by dogs, hit in the head with billy clubs. You had all of that go on, and lynching, all of that stuff go on. And then after all the blood, after all the fighting is over, they get to come over here and have the audacity to say that somebody's lazy. That is the problem. Now, I'm not saying that all Africans, I'm not saying that all Caribbeans are like this, but the fact that there are some like this and it's been going on for years and years and years, it needs to be checked, okay? It needs to be checked because Pan-Africanism is dead. It can be revived, but right now, we're not doing that right now. Right now, we're in a phase of you better pay respect phase because it's been a whole lot of, hey, you're my African brother. Oh, I'm African, I'm not Black. I'm African, I'm not Black. You're Black, you're Akata, you're this. Well, I'm African, no, I got pure blood in me. So it's been a whole bunch of disrespect in our house, in the house that you guys came to seek refuge in because you guys couldn't beat your government like we've been beating our government. You guys couldn't do that, so you came over here and you want to say something about us. You want to say that we're lazy. Now, I'm going to show you some more stuff. Now, all this is unprovoked. All of this is unprovoked. Let me read some of the comments real quick before I go too deep into it. Jason said, my father's side is from Guinea. Oh, the truth is they bring over the coon class. My grandmother is a serious mammy. Oh yeah, the coons gotta get checked, okay? It's too late in the game for us to just be letting this slide, okay? Let me tell you, white people, they check off-code white people. Let's take a look at Kyle Rittenhouse. Kyle Rittenhouse killed 2 white people. He killed 2 white people, and he's getting $1 million in donations. He's getting donations after donations. White people paying his bail because he killed white people, but the white people he killed were protesting with black people. White people, check. White people will kill a white person. An Asian person will kill an Asian person if they are off code. It's only black people who have when we need to check the people who are off code, that's being divisive. No, there needs to be a thinning of the herd. We have to check the coons, and we have to check the people who are off code. Just like in that video, all of those people who don't qualify for reparations got a whole bunch of shit to say about reparations that they're not getting in the first place. Ms. McCoy, what's up? And says, how and when did the Olmecs get to America? Dude, that is not what we're talking about right now. I've already talked to you in the comments a lot. That's not what we're talking about right now. We're talking about Pan-Africanism. Talk about how did the Olmecs get to America. What the hell? Dude, go somewhere. If you want to ask a question, you can, but I'm not talking about that right now. You're going to have to wait. Now, I'm going to show you some clips. I mean, some pictures. These are, I have dozens more, but I'm going to just show you a few. Of these unprovoked attacks from the diaspora, and nobody's been saying anything. Now, this post right here. Young kings, stay away from jobless girls with expensive taste. And then this African girl retweeted, young queens. Oh, she's from Nigeria, by the way. Young queens, stay away from broke guys. It says you never answered the question. Broke guys with authoritative and Akata behavior. Akata means Black American. Okay, I never answered the question. When and how did the Olmecs get to? What are you talking about, though? Dude, I'm not. This isn't me answering questions time. Your question is not relevant to what we're talking about. You're asking a question that's not germane to the video right now. If I answer your question, it's going to be when I'm ready to answer your question. Anyway, I'm gonna show you something else. And this is gonna be a threat. I have dozens more, but I only got a few. Okay? I'm not here to argue with a Black American that'll probably be dead soon. And then somebody else commented. Now look at how many likes. Over 3,000, close to 4,000 likes. Then somebody else commented, close to 5,000 likes too. I regret signing petitions and posting Black Lives Matter. Okay. Okay, no, we're just gonna keep going. I honestly think too many African Americans are savage, very condescending towards Africans from Africa. Xenophobic vibes. Calm down, Tariq Nasheed Jr. Bro, if you don't wait, don't get blocked, bro. Black Americans really regard themselves as the white people of blacks, huh? Okay, Black Americans are the white. Look, all of this stuff, all this disrespect, despite the fact that they're tweeting from New York and Georgia, despite the fact that they're tweeting from America, and the only reason that they get to be in America is because of Black Americans. It's only because of Black Americans. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see. Oh, then this one got really interesting, right? Now check this out. This was a post a few days ago. Black Americans think that they are better than Africans because they live with their slave masters. They embrace their African roots when it's beneficial. When it's beneficiary. I'm sorry, small. They claim Africa when they are going through racism. Okay. First off, you talking about living with our slave masters. We think that we're better because we live with our slave masters. No, we don't. Black Americans are currently talking about complete separation. We're talking about separation from them. It's crazy that Africans that now he's from Africa. It's crazy that Africans are talking about, oh, y'all live with y'all slave masters. Y'all was colonized what 1 or 2 generations ago. Y'all colonization just ended. Y'all damn grandfather speaks French. They got Africans speaking French. Not even your grandfather. Y'all got generations of Africans speaking French because y'all was just colonized. And y'all still technically are colonized, because if a Western power says that they're putting a sanction on something, y'all can't do anything. Y'all in your own land getting run by white people from outside of your land, okay? What you talking about? Oh, y'all think because y'all live with y'all slave masters? In South America, you got white people going to South America as 10% of the population and owning most of everything. I'm going to get into that a little bit deeper later. I'm hating division. I'm spreading hate and division. That I knew somebody was going to say that. I'm spreading hate and division by posting hate and division from Africans. All I'm doing is exposing hate and division. Let's continue. Oh, I already showed that one. Now, this is something somebody else had to say. Oh, Black Americans think that they are elite Black people, but they're the poorest ethnic group in America. Africans are doing far better than them in their own backyard. Okay. Oh, he's from Nigeria, by the way. And I'm gonna specifically talk about the Nigerians in just a moment. But let me say something. Let me address something. Okay. Y'all come over here. You guys are coming over here, and you guys are benefiting from the work that Black Americans have done. Black Americans have done this work. You're saying that we're the poorest group. We're the only group that gets targeted like that. We're the only group that gets targeted because, let's be honest, and I know especially Nigerians, and let me just talk to the off-cold coon Nigerians for a second, who y'all think, these Nigerians, I'm going to say some, because I know specifically some that are very on code, but I'm going to say some Nigerians, the coon class of Nigeria, y'all think when y'all come to America, y'all just the shit. Y'all think y'all so great. But y'all greatness isn't represented in Nigeria, though. Y'all got all other races. Any non-Black person can come to Nigeria and beat y'all ass, and y'all don't do nothing. Let me wrap this up real quick by posting what he said next. So somebody commented in the comments, he says, "Bro, I'm Nigerian. Educate yourself. We're the best immigrants in America. We're the best black-skinned people living in America. We dominate every sector. Earn more than y'all Black Americans. Go do research." Then somebody says, "First, that's a lie. Second of all, you're so great. Why couldn't you do it in your own country?" Honest question. Our politicians are corrupt. What's your answer? Okay. Now, let me address that real quick. Let me just address that real quick. First of all, I'm the type of person who gives credit where credit is due. I always give credit where credit is due. I have given many people shout outs in this on this channel. I've given many people shout outs. I've given shout outs to Africa. I've given shout outs to the Caribbean. And I will give a shout out to the Nigerian immigrants who do well for themselves. I want Black people to do well for themselves. I'm not hating just because you're not a Black American. I'm not hating on you. You can, if a Nigerian comes over to America and does well for themselves, I am happy for them. I honestly am. Nobody's stressing on that. But let me take y'all off y'all high horse for a second. Okay? Let me take y'all off y'all high horse for a second. First off, y'all really y'all ain't got it like y'all think y'all do. I swear to God, y'all don't have it like y'all think y'all do. Y'all, and I'm specifically talking to Nigerians because Nigerians bring this up the most. Y'all really the most arrogant out of everybody in the diaspora. I'ma just be honest. Y'all come over to America. Y'all not doing anything Black Americans have not done. Black Americans have been doctors. Black Americans have been excelling in all of these things. Y'all come over and y'all are piggybacking off of the work of Black Americans because y'all wouldn't be able to even be in those places had it not been for Black Americans. Y'all are piggybacking off of that work, and you're doing good. You're doing good, and that's good for you. But you're talking all this shit. You're talking all this shit, and you got, ooh, I can show you some bad parts of Nigeria. I really can, but I'm not going to do that because I do have love from Nigerian people. I really do. And I'm not going to show you the third world country that well, Nigeria is a big country, so I'm not going to show you all the shit in Nigeria. I can do that, though. I can do that. The worst ghetto in America does not look as bad as Nigeria in certain parts. I swear to God. I can make the comparison. I can really shit on you.
All right, I'm back, everyone. I had to run out real fast. But let's finish what's going on and all this. I'm not trying to. Oh, that nigga started talking about Mother Africa. Nah, don't do that shit.
And your point, but a lot of us are more about being self-sufficient. So the South, a friend of mine down there, King Randall, has a school for boys. He's 22 years old. He has a bunch of kids living with him. He's teaching them physical skills they can do. Okay, being a mechanic, working on your car, working on your house, building things with your hands. So you don't got to worry about corporations. You could be your own man. You could be your own woman. And also, didn't you also say earlier that you're against unions? But are you for them now?
No, I never said that.
Oh, so you're for unions?
Absolutely.
So when the unions keep Black folks out, you're for that as well? Because that's traditionally what they've done, keep Black folks out, correct?
Obviously, I am not for that. The reality is that unions have definitely in the beginning kept Black folks out. And the reason why they were keeping Black folks out is because after the Civil War, when there was Reconstruction, you had all these Black people that had been used with free labor and they had skills, right? Whether they were a blacksmith or a carpenter or whatever. However, they could not get jobs because the white people who now had to fend for themselves, if you will, because they didn't have slaves, they had to go and learn all these trades.
Right.
And so they actively kept Black people out of those jobs. And then what they would do is that when they would, as a union, say, we're going on strike, the Black people would be like, well, we'll work, because they won't let us in their union anyway. And then when they would go and actually get those jobs that the people were on strike for, they would hang them. They would lynch them. So yes, these are real things that have taken place. But we keep having these conversations where we acknowledge the past when it's convenient, and then we only stay in the present when it's convenient. So you can't simultaneously say, well, everybody's fine now and there's no systemic racism, at the same time as stating that there are unions that are racist and unions that aren't racist. Ultimately, there is racism in the United States. It is deeply embedded. We have seen it in a myriad of examples, even just yesterday or today. And Black conservatives are working against the working class because they are actively placing their vision, their ideology of Black excellence in economics solely.
Well, there is racism
and in individual economics.
Okay.
And I think that's really the big difference of what we're talking about right now. You're talking about every man for themselves. Every man for themselves.
No. I don't say that.
Oh, you didn't say that?
I say that we have to be individual as people, as Black people, but still get all of us on the same page. My friend's at school, he's not just looking out for himself, looking for all these kids as well. So it's like, okay, I bring myself up and bring everybody else up, rather than relying upon the corporations and white people to lift this up. That's where we come from as Black conservatives. So I think there's a difference between relying on and acknowledging that there are impediments of. And I want to acknowledge the reality that we keep seeming to bump up against, which is that everybody...
And I'm going to say this again, Shabaka, them immigrants are not my family. They will never be my family. And the reason why is because they're too tribalistic. They are very tribalistic. You know, and I will never call Africa home. The Africans and Europeans fucked up Africa so bad that I will never ever claim it. Africa and Africa and Europe is the reason why Africa is fucked up.
Has equal ability, and they don't. Everybody doesn't have the same impediments. So, for instance, I grew up with a single parent, not because...
Me too.
I grew up with a single parent, not because my father was some deadbeat that didn't have... My father has a MD from Harvard. My father has an MBA from Tufts.
My dad was a firefighter, so working class, conservative.
He just didn't want to be a parent. So when we talk about this whole idea of like, oh, the blacks that are, not doing the thing, it's not about necessarily what class you're in. It's literally just about we live in a nation that gives the option of I don't want to be a parent. We live in a nation that gives the option of I don't need to be in cooperation with our community. And as far as I'm concerned, black conservatives do not address the needs of the working class, which are fair access to resources, which are equal access to getting jobs, which are equal pay to the same access as others. And we don't.
Equal to who?
Equal to other states even. Like there's no reality where you can say that the same amount of white people are working low-wage jobs per capita as black people. A lot of the reason is because there's such a disparate incarceration of black people that it impedes their ability to get higher level education as well as higher level employment because we know about disenfranchisement.
All right, there you go.
Hi.
Hi, Layla.
Nice to meet you.
Nice
I'm
to meet
Layla.
you.
I would actually argue that the black working class is failing themselves. Wouldn't you agree that in order to get a job, in order to qualify for a certain position and an education system at a job, wouldn't you argue that it should be based off of qualifications and not your race or identity?
I've never argued that. I've never argued that. That's not
I
be
know
the case.
that you were saying that you would argue that it should be equal, right? So you're saying that there should be black Americans in education systems, in jobs, but wouldn't you argue that they should be qualified for those positions and not just placed there because of their skin color?
I've never disapproved that.
Okay, so let's say...
That's not what DEI is.
Okay.
Do you know that?
Well, I'm not talking about DEI right now. Well,
Because you're suggesting that I suggested that somebody should get a job just because they're black. And I've never asserted anything like that.
I mean, I understand that you may not say that exactly, but a lot
I
of the
didn't say that
things
at
are,
all.
They're pointing to that.
No, it's not pointing to that.
Okay.
And so that is that I need to clear this up because it's a really important point.
Okay.
We live in a nation that has actively pedestaled white people. Can we all agree on that? That we
In
no,
the past,
we can't.
in the
Okay,
past,
in the
but
past,
not currently,
in the past.
but not currently.
So okay, fair.
Okay.
Okay. So how many black people are a part of this administration's cabinet?
So we didn't see Daniel Penny. We didn't see Austin Metcalf. We hasn't. Yo, are you serious? Do we really have to go down this route? White people are always champions. So like we cannot do that. Africans champion white people. They come to this country. The reason why a lot of Africans keep their name now instead of calling themselves Peter, Paul, and John is because Black American gave them inspiration and influence to keep their name. Nobody's not gonna hide nobody named Oba or Ibu.
I'm not sure. Can you tell me? Can you fill me in?
Zero.
Oh. Who? So seems like there may be a couple.
That's not a cabinet.
I don't know.
Scott Turner.
Okay.
Okay.
So there are.
So we got two.
So there are.
So we got two.
Can we
got
also,
two. We got two. So back to your point, DEI is about expanding.
Oh yes. Okay.
Not lowering credibility.
Okay.
So if we have a system that has very actively said these particular people are the best people simply because of their race, DEI said, or their gender.
Okay.
Because DEI mostly leveled up white women.
Okay. So it would be incorrect if it's, if we're pointing toward this, a majority of race is qualified because of the base of their skin.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. Whether they're white, black.
Okay,
I mean, race is fake anyway.
Now, I do want to touch on a point that you did mention earlier, that you would argue that, black people have less opportunities in America. I do not agree with that. I have not had,
First of all, you're a light-skinned woman.
And so are you.
Yes.
And you're doing great for yourself.
Yes, and so...
She's right. She is light-skinned. Light-skinned women has a better chance of getting, jobs. I'm not going to act like that's not true. It's true. So this girl's about to get violated already.
Colorism really does serve us.
I do want to say, why do you think that is, though? Why do you think that? Do you think it's just based off the color of our skin, or do you think it's based off of the reputation that black people make for themselves?
What reputation are black people making for themselves?
What would you argue? Because I mean, when I look at
who makes the reputation for black people?
Let's look at music, for example.
We already had this conversation with somebody else.
Well, we're gonna have it again. Most of the people that
are we?
Most of the people.
I'm gonna shut it down right now and let you know that the reality is that when you come to black music, for you to say most of the people, you've already lost the argument.
Am I right?
There is no most of the people with black people because you haven't heard of all of black music.
Most
so let's start
most
there.
of the music that is, let's say, maybe exalted or shown by
And
the
who
media,
controls-
right?
and who controls those systems?
It defiles
And
Black
who
Americans.
controls
Well,
those
but who's putting it
systems?
out there?
Who
We
control-
are Black.
No,
We're the ones
actually,
putting
the
it out there.
distribution systems that are putting them out there
And
are owned by white people.
Listens? Who listens to them? Because I
don't
can
know.
bet you most of my friends, my Black friends that are not conservative, they listen to that music that defiles
You know who
their
else?
bodies.
You know
that
who
talks
else
about
listens to that
Black on
music?
Black crime and
Everybody
it's a good thing.
else. But if
Am
we
I
don't
right?
acknowledge that they are not in the same way pursuing white voices talking about the same thing, even though they are. We simply like to start at the branches of a tree and not at the root. We have to understand that the media is king. Okay, media is king,
And media does not favor conservatism. I can tell you that right now. I mean, look at the protests right now in Los Angeles.
Depending on who is in office, media does favor them.
I mean,
Media
we
has
have Trump
never-
in office right
media
now, and
has never
media is not favoring Trump at all.
Media is absolutely not favoring Trump
Okay,
in certain
thank you.
spaces because Trump is also not favoring that particular type of media. But it depends on the day. And we have to acknowledge that regardless of whether you talk conservatism or not, media has never favored Black people at any point.
All right, guys, that's time. You've been voted out.
Thank you.
Please
At
return to
any
your seat.
point.
Yeah, get her the fuck out of there. I don't even know what the fuck she was talking about.
Back. So let's talk about facts. I just want to move back to systemic racism because you mentioned systemic racism earlier. I just want to look at 3 applications of systemic racism against white people and against East Asians as well. So for example, we have the National College Attainment Network, which defines affirmative action or even race-conscious admissions as taking race as one of the factors in whether or not you're going to admit a student. And we noticed that when race-conscious admissions was out of it, Black enrollment dropped 64%. At UC Berkeley. And that is an act of systemic racism. Trying to look at people's races and allow them into colleges whether or not they're of a set race is racism. And it's race conscious. And Martin Luther King's most famous quote is that he doesn't want his children to be judged based on race, but by the content of their character. And the content of people's characters also includes merit. We have another example of systemic racism. Burgess Owens, he's a representative out of Utah. He's a Black Republican representative. He called out the MIT president for having Black-only dormitories. I mean, what does that mean? Why are we trying to segregate each other and say that Black people feel safer amongst Black people when the truth is
I'm gonna say this. This man gotta stop talking for Black America. First of all, this nigga got an Osaka shirt, Osaka, Japan shirt. You know, only person who probably wears some shit like that is probably with me because I probably got some sneakers to go with it. Other than that, I would never wear that shirt. Second of all, this nigga needs a haircut. I don't know what the fuck he did to the sides, but that's not an FBA haircut.
they're actually more in danger when they're around Black people. And that's unfortunate. It's sad that I'm saying this, but it's the case, and I have to say it because it's true, okay? Black people are killing each other at a vast, crazy rate. Black men rapping about it.
Cap.
It's savagery. It's barbaric.
I gotta also too. People gotta stop using black people are killing each other, because once we start doing the ethnicities and race, you're gonna start to see that it's not Black Americans doing it. These are these niggas from other countries, or a nigga got a different cultural background. This is what you're gonna start finding out.
And people, we shouldn't be doing it as a people. We should try to get more Ben Carsons. Ben Carson's cousins were murdered when he was younger, but his mother came to him and gave him a book and told Ben Carson to read and study to not be like his cousins. And Ben Carson separated two twins at the back of the head, and he's known as one of the best renowned neurologists or neuroscientists that we've ever seen, right?
Ben Carson said that slaves were immigrants.
Well, they were brought here to the United States, and many of them were slaves, and we know that to be a fact.
What is the difference between someone being an immigrant and being a stolen person?
I mean, I understand that many people were stolen here, but 90% of historians agree that slavery would have not been possible if Black slave owners within
He pulled a Shabaka. Shabaka, he pulled your move, my man.
Africa didn't sell off their people. White people didn't show up and just start stealing people. They didn't do that. That's not how that worked.
They literally did that.
But they didn't. They worked with Black owners and
They
the Arabs. The same
literally
thing.
did that.
It's funny
And
you guys talk
Arabs
about
did that as well. And I think it's
They
very
did it in the
important.
7th
And I
century,
think it's important to note that there is an oversimplification of history as well as of Black people in Africa. There's a failure to acknowledge that in Africa, Black people did not consider themselves Black people. That was a racial distinction that was solely created by white oppressors to legitimize slavery.
Arab oppressors, actually. The Arabs did it in the 7th century. They were the first ones.
They did not name it under Blackness. They simply just decided we're going to go and have enslavers. This was a decision that was actualized and then tried to be pushed forward through eugenics. Literally, there was an executive order that was passed a few months months ago that said that Donald Trump wants to now control the museums because he wants to take back control of the narrative around race. And in one of these museums that they cited was that there was a display that speaks about race not as a biological thing, but as something that has just been created as a social construct. And he stated that that is an incorrect expression of race, that race is biological.
But it is biological. Like, let's look at our phenotypical traits, the nose differences,
wow.
the hair texture. It's a biological thing.
Oh,
Sure,
baby.
there's a social concept, but there's biological differences that
sir,
exist.
You're very convicted in your
look
lack
different.
of information
People can look
around
different.
these things. Race and ethnicity are two different things, okay?
I'm talking about
Ethnicity
race.
is where you're from. Race is literally something that was created to put people into categories of caste, to put people into categories of oppression. Race is not something that you are. Race is something that was bestowed and put
That's
upon you.
racism, not race. Race is simply the
race
aggregation.
is literally something that was created and put upon you. And I want you to listen to me as somebody who has studied this, who has a master's in African American Studies from the Institute for Research in African American Studies at Columbia University.
Yeah. Yo, look at this girl. Yo, the conservative girl is laughing at him like, yo, this nigga don't even know what he's talking about. Let's get him the fuck out of here. He's embarrassing us. Like, she's laughing. Like, yo, when your own people is laughing at you, then you got a problem. Your own African sister is laughing at you right now.
I want you to understand very clearly that
Oh,
race
Shirley.
is not something that is biological. There is literally
Look at us.
no.
Look at the
There is
differences.
there is many differences that are equated to ours that
And
has
they're
nothing
not
to do with
biological?
race.
Melanin
That has nothing to
content
do
is
with
not
race.
biological at
so
all?
if you have a black parent and you have a white parent, and now you come out looking white, how is that a biological
But most-
proof of
most
your
of them-
race?
most of them
There's
come
no
out
most of them.
having
Stop,
curly
stop,
hair.
stop. There's no most of them. You do not
Mixed
have
race?
anything to
You're
prove
mixed
that.
race, too.
I am not mixed race. My mother is black and my father is black.
Well, my father is also considered black, but he's very much has a lot of European DNA. And
You know what I think? I think that you are at a phase of your learning where you are a contrarian. And I look forward to seeing your development because I have a feeling that you're actually going to flip the script eventually because you are somebody that definitely is grounded in wanting to learn facts and wanting to learn the truths of things. However, you're currently still stuck in an indoctrinated space that is tricking you into thinking that you are something that you are not. You are a black person who is literally having to receive the results of racism, but ultimately you are of an ethnicity that has thrived in spite of it. And that is where we really exist from. And that is where our resilience comes from in spite of systemic racism.
I think our resilience is happening now. I think growing, understanding the real problems, not going out and trying to protest against. You guys don't ever do this. KTS.
You
Dre,
guys don't ever do that.
KTS
Who is
Dre.
you guys?
Members of the black community that want to hold people accountable, especially black people. So KTS Dre was shot 60 times outside of Cook County, Chicago. How many BLM members came out? You earlier said BLM
Stop
is about
referring
police.
to me as you guys.
Okay, that's fine. So, for example, we had a really good example of this where it's not a police because
This is an immigrant thing.
Where am I from? What do you mean by that? Like, what state am I from? Where was I born?
Where do you live right now?
I live in Florida. I was born in Angola, though. I was born in sub-Saharan Africa. Okay.
Where did you grow up for most of your time?
In Maine. I lived in North America.
In Maine.
Yes.
Oh no! Remember that Maine story I told you about? He would be one of these niggas that will do something like that. Like, this nigga's pathetic. I gotta be personally honest. This is why I always tell people, you gotta stay on your P's and Q's with these type of niggas. You know? Give me a second, everyone. I'll be right back.
And what is the population of black people in the town that you're from?
It's really extremely low, but I grew up around black people, and there was a black community where I lived.
And that black community that you lived in, did they teach you about black history in the United States?
I
Like,
learned black history.
Are your parents black American?
Yeah, my mom is black. My father is black.
No, I'm asking, were they born in the United States?
No, because I wasn't born there.
Oh, so you guys are all from Angola?
Yes, but again, like I told you earlier, right? In terms of people like KTS Dre that were shot, BLM doesn't come out for them. And I remember you earlier
Well, I
said,
think it's really
hold on, can I please
important
finish?
You gotta be careful with these immigrants, man. You gotta be I gotta be personally honest. You gotta be careful with them. Look how he talks. Like, listen, watch.
Where I lived.
And that black community that you lived in, did they teach you about black history in the United States?
I
Like,
learned black history.
are your parents black American?
Yeah, my mom is black. My father is black.
No, I'm asking, were they born in the United
No,
States?
because I wasn't born there.
Oh, so you guys are all from Angola?
Yes, but again, like I told you earlier, right? In terms of people like KTS, they were shot. BLM doesn't come out for them. And I remember you earlier
Well, I
said,
think it's really
hold on, can I
important
please finish? Can I please finish? You earlier said that BLM is worried about police, but when Daniel Penny choked out the man that we all know was causing violence on that subway train,
He was
subway
not
station,
causing violence.
He was threatening
causing
people.
disruption is not causing violence.
He was threatening people.
Causing disruption is not
and the
causing
people
violence.
there, and the people there helped him also, and we know that he helped them.
I don't know what that has to do with BLM. Random people on a train is not Black Lives Matter.
BLM showed up for that. They did.
Showed up for what?
BLM showed up threatening white people, saying that they're going to
No,
go
they
get white
didn't.
people now. They
BLM
did.
protested.
BLM New York.
BLM protested. Where did you get that from? You see, your sources are not. You're not able to
But I have
cite
all
your
the
sources.
in New
Please go
York.
sit down.
Yeah, that's the truth.
It's
you
not
can
the
try to
truth.
avoid it.
It's not the truth.
Get
It's
him
not
outta
the
here.
Nothing you say is actually the truth.
See, this is why y'all Africans get violated, because people like him. I gotta be personally honest. Shabaka, Kwame, these are your brethrens. This is the shit that we're talking about. Like, this is a learning way, man. Like, this is what we gotta learn from. People like him. We gotta stay away from people like him. We gotta let them crash and burn.
Nothing. You're not even American. You're not even a Black American. As the daughter of an immigrant, it is imperative that Black people from other places understand the disparate difference that they exist from Black people in the United States. It is not the same. Period. And ultimately, the best effort that we can do as a diaspora is to lead in understanding, not in judgment. So when I am talking to somebody from Sudan, from the Congo, from Angola, I am listening to understand their experience, not to undermine it. And I refuse to allow anybody from Grenada, from Angola, from any other place to come and try to undermine the experience of Black Americans.
You gotta be personally honest about that. She deserved what that man deserved what he got.
Who feels passionately about something that they want to talk to me about? I choose John Samuel because I like his facial hair and dashiki pairing. I feel like he's gonna sing a mean R&B.
Which one? My claim is that Black people as a community need to walk away from the Democratic Party and progressivism completely. I'm saying this from a very unique perspective. I'm not trying to shout myself or anything. This is really just my experience. Currently, I'm running for Congress, right? And one of the biggest hurdles I have in doing that is the Black community. It's because they expect us to be in this box.
What's the box?
The box would be, okay, you're Black, so you got to be a Democrat. You got to think this way. You have to have this view on this matter.
No, you got to tell me, think what way?
Like,
I really want to understand.
So let's take immigration. That's a hot button issue right now, especially in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
My view is that UD should come here the legal way, and that if you don't come here the legal way, you are subject to the laws of the country. But I also feel that if you're
anyone would disagree with that.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying that a lot of people, especially where I'm from San Diego, will like to put Black conservatives in this box. And the reason why I say specifically in my claim that Black people need to walk away from the Democratic Party is because every single election cycle, all they do is use us as their tokens. They use us as their kind of election tools. They use us as these campaign posters. They tell us to come to their rallies. They tell us to sing on their stages. They tell us to do all these things, and they forget about us 3 other years, and they remember us 4 years later. Every single cycle, it happens again and again. And I'm one of the people, like,
But he has to understand too, and I get what he was saying, but John Samuel has to understand too that Republicans do the same thing. You know? This is why I always tell... I'm going to say this. And this is why I always tell people all the time, I don't have a party. The reason why I don't have a party because I don't trust none of those motherfuckers. But also, you have to understand that Black America has always been used as a tool. You know, so if you don't want to be used by the Democrats, you got to say that shit to the Republicans too. This is why I said the Couch 2024 was so important. The reason why it was so important, because at the end of the day, they would have to figure it out themselves. And this is why I said yesterday that the Republicans act like they done this shit themselves, and they really did it. It's just most of us didn't vote. Most of us didn't vote, you know? y'all had to use your other counterparts to figure it out. But it was a lose-lose situation for them anyway, so yeah.
Really appreciate you because it seems like you have love for the black community and you have a love for people, and I appreciate that. And I do too, because I don't express that in the same way as, let's say, as a black person who's a member of the Democratic Party. I get called Uncle Tom, I get called a racist, I hate myself, I love myself, and I love our people. I love everything about us. We have done so much for this country. We built this table that everyone is seated at. We deserve rights. We deserve all these things. However, what I don't like more than that, more than anything, is being used. It's being used by politicians, being used by governments as some type of puppet to say, here's my black person that's voting for me. I don't like that. And it makes me sad, no matter you're Democrat, Independent,
Can I
Green Party,
respond?
whatever. Yes, yeah, sorry.
I completely agree. I completely agree. I would add to that it's no different with the Conservative Party.
Thank
that
you.
There is 1,000% a use of black people to weaponize a concerted effort to literally, quote unquote, make America great again. The concept of make America great again did not start with Donald Trump. It started with Ronald Reagan, and it happened right after the Civil Rights Movement. There was a very strong, visceral response by white people after the Civil Rights Movement, after the Voting Rights Act of 1965, the Civil Rights Act of 1964, the Fair Housing Act of 1969, the Economic Opportunity Act of 1965. These were all efforts that were put in place on a federal level to say, okay, fine, here and damn, we're gonna give you a little bit of something to get your weight up. After that, there was a active effort made by conservatives, because that's also when we saw the flip between the Democratic and Republican parties.
There was no flip.
There was a flip. That's actively what happened. There was a flip. And
Since
we saw
Reconstruction, Democratic Party has been the party of slavery, the party of rape.
Yeah, Dr. Umar, yeah, but the thing about it is, like I said, same day parlay, Pan-African movement is divisive. They're tribalistic. If they're not going to get their way, it's no way. It has been like that forever. You know, so yeah. Yeah, but they're not united themselves. So yeah, it doesn't really mean anything to us. You got to understand, they're not messing with the old scary Negroes like the Dr. Martin Luther King type of niggas. We've been on another time frame for years. You know, so yeah.
There was a flip because the Democrats were more aligned with making these civil rights concessions than the Republicans. That's the flip. Ultimately, though, the flip is what people are misappropriating, because the flip isn't a 180. Okay? If the flip is literally just, we was this and now we this. And that is not the same as we are for black people. The Democratic Party is not for black people, nor is the Republican Party. Any nation that has a bipartisan system that doesn't even allow for its own people to determine who are going to be the candidates for president isn't for its people in general,
like
beyond
Africa.
Blackness. So it's imperative that we begin to truly understand the systems at work.
Africa's not like that. I heard from a Nigerian, he said, what he say? He said, I was like, yo, I said, you need to go back to your own country and you need to fix it. I was like, the only way your country is going to get better if y'all go back and bring the education that y'all got from America to your country. I was like, even politically, you got to pick your leader. You got to pick somebody who's going to talk for us. He told me, he said, yo, we can't do that. He's like, yo, they give us who to talk to. I was like, yo, well, you need to fight. You need to disrupt. I've been told these Africans this. I was like, y'all don't need black America. I said, y'all need to come together and fight your government. You need to black Americans has been disrupting for the last 80 years. This is why we are farther than most people. This is why we're revolutionary. Every time you look at us, they talk about all the success that we have done. And this is the reason why. We do not back down. We do not run. I'll never feel home. Facts. Yeah, you're right. You can just tell by the man's haircut. This man right here, I I wouldn't vote for him per se right now, but I think he needs to be a little bit more educated on Democrats and Republicans and on policies. If he does that and add a little bit more, I think he'll be a very great governor or whatever he's trying to do.
Work in this government that not only hinder us as Black people, but they hinder anyone who wants to see change because they are ultimately working together. Now, do we see one party activating higher levels of discrimination than others? Yes. Do we see one party that is more violent per se than others? Yes. And we can say this on many different levels. But when it comes to like enacting genocide or destabilizing other nations, we know that that happens on an American level, regardless, okay? I completely agree that the idea that you have to act a certain way as a Black person is really problematic because the Democrats and the Republicans, neither of them actually care about Black people. And when we talk about conservatism or we talk about being a liberal, neither of these aspects were grounded in how do we help to repair the harm that we have caused an entire group of people who made it possible for us to even have a constitution. So you can sit here and show me whatever you want.
No. The only reason why I was going to show you this is because
even with that Constitution, we weren't even humans. When they wrote it.
So that was another fact check I wanted to kind of fact check before, but I couldn't say anything. But the 3/5 compromise had nothing to do with your 3/5 of a person. The 3/5 compromise had to do with representation in Congress. So there's a little note here if you open this.
The 3/5 compromise said that the Southern slaveholders needed to be represented fairly in Congress. And because there was so many more slaves than actual white people in the South, they were allowed to count their slaves as representation, even though those slaves did not have the ability to vote.
If we were at that time, let's say the 3/5 compromise never happened, we were a whole person as a light of the government, right? If that happened, then this America would not be the America that you know today. Because what it was is, if it was, we were counted as
You're
whole.
defending the 3/5 compromise,
Can you
bro.
just listen? Can you listen? No, listen for a second.
Okay.
Because I don't want you to get mischaracterized what I'm saying, okay?
Okay.
Slavery was wrong. It was absolutely disgusting and immoral thing.
Okay.
I have nothing good to say about that. But the 3/5 compromise, if you counted a person who was a slave as a whole person at that time,
yes,
most of the slaves were held in the south of the Mason-Dixon line,
I just said that, yeah.
So what would happen is they would have more representation in Congress, and thus those laws that were, by the abolitionists, those would have been gone. Okay, so that would have gave the South more power to do the things that they couldn't do. So that's why they said the 3/5 compromise, because then if it's 3/5 compromise, they don't get that power. But of course they're people, so they have to say something, and that's where this came into play. Because if it wasn't for that, this country would have looked a lot differently.
So you're suggesting that it was okay for slaves' bodies to not only be used for labor, but also used to empower those who are harming them to be fairly represented in government?
I think it's absolutely, they should have been used, period.
Okay,
I think it was
so then we agree on that.
Yeah,
so we agree on that.
It was absolutely abhorrent. There's no excuse for it. There's no justification for it.
So then where's the argument? Because ultimately, when there was an opportunity in Reconstruction for there to be equality and humans considered in a real way and protected,
Democrats torched it. Andrew Johnson.
Yes. As well as the Supreme Court. That's actually more important what we have to acknowledge. The Supreme Court torched it. The Supreme Court has actively, throughout this entire existence of this nation, been at the forefront of impeding any advancement, and it ends up sending us back over and over and over again because it doesn't have term limits, because it doesn't have term limits. It's not elected, it's appointed, and ultimately they have made it abundantly clear that they pick and choose when it's the states that are going to have rights and when they're going to be in a federal position of precedence.
Well, that has to do with the supremacy clause. So the supremacy clause is when a federal law is in conflict with the state's law. The federal law will override. For example, in California, weed is legal, right?
But federally,
it's not. So they can come down here and they could say, hey, we're going to raid all these places, and they would be completely in line with the law.
And so this is how segregation and discrimination ended up existing even after the civil rights laws of the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment were passed, because Congress said we need to protect Black people, and the Supreme Court said we actually are not going to give you the right to do so. For what it's worth, I think we can do this back and forth all day, but at the end of the day, I will completely agree with you. Black people need to let the Democrats go. I think Black people need to let both of these parties go and figure out a way to move forward together in our own nation.
You know what? I can actually get on with that because, I don't believe that all Republicans are, good and not using us as well.
Power
I
of the
agree
people,
with that.
brother. Power of
I
the
agree with
people.
that. And
Let's sing a duet.
I'm for no matter what color skin you are, or black, whatever it is, just think for yourself. If you think for yourself and you do your own research and you want to be a liberal radical, go for it. If you want to think for yourself
Everybody
and be a Green Party,
everybody
go
know
for it.
I agree
if
with
you
this.
Want, if
Everybody
you want to be
know
liberal
this is my
and be a
I'm
Republican,
singing
then
along
go
with
for
you.
it.
Yes.
It's okay.
Yes.
You know what? I'm down for that.
Hallelujah.
Think for
Come
ourselves.
on.
Let's
All
do
right
it.
now.
Let's do it.
Ah, yeah.
I appreciate coming on the show and debating with Amanda. I could see that there was a care for the community and there was a care for wanting to uplift us rather than treat us like a monolith. And that's what I'm all about. Regardless if you're a Democrat, Green Party, or Republican, I just think that people are far more complex than we give them credit.
There is an active effort of folks on any side of the aisle that want to see the elevation of Black people to be able to come together and have real conversations that are grounded not in stats, and this is going to sound real woo-woo, but it's what it is, that are grounded in love. And I hope that whatever anyone took away from this conversation is the reality that I really do love Black people. I love people, and I love the ability to exist on this earth and have access to joy.
I think sometimes things got a little bit heated, and that's okay because emotions get the best of us. But I think overall she did pretty well for her position. I don't agree with her for the most part, but I think she did pretty well.
Just kind of seeing this dynamic that this is really what happens. A lot of times when we look at discourse, we look at it online, so everybody's typing and typing, but this is what real discourse looks like. When you have to really sit in front of someone and unpack your arguments, you can see the pressure that causes and how you have to really kind of have your thoughts together and how heated and emotional it can get. So I think the fact that you guys, created this space for us to be able to do that is awesome. Whether it was productive or not, we'll only see.
I'm gonna say this, all right? So, I'm gonna say this. Black Americans knew all of this shit before. Everything that Amanda Shields is saying, Black Americans has done it. Black Americans has been warning niggas about this. Black Americans have been telling Africans, yo, you need to come with us and actually build. All they've been saying is, no, we don't want to be with you, nigga. The whole 9 yards and how they feel about us. And we said, okay, no love lost. Let's fast forward to 2025. Niggas is in trouble right now. Niggas is having problems. I'm being personally honest. Niggas is having problems right now. And they need help. Africans need help. I think, and I'm going to say this. Y'all Africans, if y'all like these motherfuckers, I think y'all need to go on their side and help them. Black Americans is not helping. I don't think we should help. Like I said, I wouldn't want nobody to help anybody who sold us. Africans have sold us. Africans been selling us for years. So you know what? This is the time where, them niggas have to defend for their own. They have to defend for their own, And like I said, it's not that we don't like them, but they need to handle business. I'm gonna land here, all right, and I'm gonna say this. Give me a second. I'm gonna say this. It shouldn't have to take a mixed girl or a girl whose mother is from an immigrant background to tell these people this information. I'm being personally honest. I think it's very disingenuous, and I think, Africans, Pan-Africans, immigrants, y'all should educate yourselves. I think y'all need to re-educate yourselves. It'll be a great thing, and you can learn about our culture instead of saying we don't have any culture. All this shit that y'all been saying, all these shit that these black conservatives have been saying was coming from an immigrant background or from a coonish background, So I have to be honest. But yeah, this was definitely a good show. So I do appreciate everybody who has been watching. I want to give a shout out to Same Day Parlay, Kwame, Shabaka, Kai, Del Monte Green Beans, Charlie Shaw, definitely. Charlie Shaw, St. Michael's, shout out to you, player. And I know niggas was packing you out. Even the Pan-Africans were packing you out, but that's what you get when you come on my show, man. You gotta come correct with Black Americans and even immigrants and tethers. They ain't gonna let you just disrespect them like that. So yeah, you got packed the fuck out. You know. Shout out to Jeff. Shout out to Jeff. Salute. I know I'm forgetting somebody. Give me a second, everybody. Shabaka, Same Day Parlay. Born Enemies 34, Jeff, Kwame. Okay, that's Kwame. American Dream, Lala Brown. Shout out to Lala Brown. Del Monte, St. Michael's, Charlie Shaw in Ohio. Salute to all of y'all. Thank y'all for watching y'all show. I appreciate it. And tomorrow is the Chocolate Man podcast, and I will see you tomorrow for that. The topic question is ghetto women getting a bad rap. So we will be talking about that, everyone. So y'all take care, and I'll see you.